Okay, hello, dear friends. I saw a video today where there were people calling their bros and saying they love them, and I think that was great, and I think everybody should do that. And you guys
didn't call me.
I didn't call you, but I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys have been friends of mine through all kinds of stuff. I am a very different person in a lot of ways than I was, but I always feel appreciated and understood and appreciated. I said that already. But you guys are great. So if I don't tell you that enough, there you go. And for the few people that listen, tell your friends that they are awesome, because they are. Yeah.
Aww. You are my friend too.
I know that.
We all love you.
This is not me fishing, I promise. I just felt like, I haven't said that in a while. And as far as
you too. Oh, stop it.
Stop.
You.
Okay, wow. Who wants to recap the torturing the slaver from last week?
Oh boy.
I think
I said I would take this one.
You did, yeah, because Crikey did the last one.
When I voluntold Crikey for the last one. Alright, so, wow, gotta remember where we actually stopped and started. I think we were just we had just gotten Bullbug down when we started from last time. So basically we got Bullbug out of the way. We kind of shade jumped in and slightly roughed up / intimidated to some degree Proximo, the flatulent, whatever he is. And it didn't go so well. He was like, you know what? I'm a greasy, slimy dude. I want to get some of that greasy, slimy grease on you guys as much as I can. So I'm gonna make this painful and hard. And while we were coming to that realization, like, crap, we're gonna have to do the terrible stuff. Those armed soldiers and whatever we heard showed up. And so Megas said, all right, I got this, with all the confidence in the world, and rushed out to confront them. He prepared himself and even got a nice little nifty blessing from Kyra. And he ran out there and just bluffed his way past all of them, that he was Proximo, that everybody had escaped, and that they needed to go find them. He also noticed that it was Sidon people, it was Lutheria people, and it was City Guard.
Weren't any Lutheria people there?
Oh, no Lutheria people? I thought it was...
Nope.
No.
Just Sidon people. Otherwise, oh my goodness, then Condrus would have been there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was like 6 King's Guards and then
King's Guard. That's what it was. Yeah.
So they weren't like City Watch; they were King's Guard specifically.
So
You're
they're
thinking that because
elites.
the word portal was used.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were elites,
portal,
like you
portal
said.
dude.
Yeah. So, and even Commander Gaius himself was there, and they were liberating the safe from Proximo's office, which through the small amount of dialogue indicated that this was not actually Proximo's property. This was somebody else's, i.e. Sidon followers' property. And we're like, dang, we probably should have stole that earlier. Then he Gaius, being such the great guy he gifted us a immovable rod and left with all his people and the King's Guard. Then Magus was like, cool, I totally smashed that, and ran back in, conveyed this all to the rest of us, and then we got about into the incredibly fun and uplifting joys of torturing Proximo till he broke and released the oaths. We nearly killed him 2 or 3 times, maybe. And finally we got him to release all the oaths. It took him a long time, but he released all of them. And now they're all free and happy. And we left Proximo in a mostly comatose state, probably not stable for too terribly long, in a closet in the back of the room. And then we left, and or at least started to leave. Shade made a shameless plug to all the Minotaurs about joining the Iron Sentinels. They're like, cool, sounds like a great group to join. And Shade's like, yeah. And then there was a lizard dude who was eating one of the slavers and was like, hey, can I catch a ride to Fire Island? And we're like, where's Fire Island? He's like, it's a place, and there's other lizard folk there. Can you get me a ride? And we said, we'll think about it. And then we realized that after we got through the gates, collected our gifted immovable rod, we realized, hey, there's city guard watching this place. We can't all just like waltz out of here without causing a big disturbance. So Magus pulled out a little, was it makeup box thing?
Pocket vanity.
Pocket vanity, that magically changed someone's appearance. So they said, Shade's got his little echo teleporty thing. Let's do him. So Shade turned into a old dwarven man with scars all over his face and a peg leg, and he
A wonderful character.
He jumped out looking sinister as all crap, and led away the city guard on a merry chase through the whole whatchamacallit area.
The Stygian Row.
Stygian Row, yeah, that place. I have my character sheet in front of it. So yeah, he led them all through a chase through there, eventually circling back to meet up with the rest of the party back in his normal form a while later. And they said, you know what, this was a long, hard day. We're going to go for drinks. So we went to a bar, pub, place. I believe it was the Siren's Roost.
Satyrs Tail.
Satyrs Tail. Which one?
Siren's Roost is the.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. That one.
I forgot when I was like, oh, where could they go? Sirens. Oh no, that's literally just fantasy Hooters. Yeah. We're gonna go Satyrs Tail.
We went to the Satyrs Tail.
Yeah. Fantasy Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, Magus is like, I need to spend some time by myself for a bit to copy down. He didn't tell the rest of the party what he was doing, but he needed to be by himself. And got one of his friends, who is half the population of Mitros, to let him go use the back storeroom. And then while the rest of the party was sitting there drinking, Shade had a crazy weird hallucination and got to talk to his old dead dragon friend. And then that's basically where we stopped. Yeah.
Anybody have anything else to add? Go ahead and take your inspiration. You earned it. So good. That is.
And I think I've mentioned before in like chat, but eventually we're going to get to the point where like the entire population of Mitros can be fit into the Venn diagram of either friend of Magus or mortal enemy of Theo.
Yes.
Dynamic duo, all right? The yin and yang.
We're working on it.
Balance.
We are well on our way. So I guess in media res, you guys are still at the Satyr's Tail. Shade has just said, kind of under his breath, I will find you, my friend, something like that. And, he's visibly shaken. Magus, in an hour, you're able to copy down like a few key pages from the journal.
I'm looking for the journal entries. You said had locations of the mercenaries.
Yep.
And then also from the ledger, I'm looking for like key things about the Minotaurs that were taken by force, and also some of the commoners who were in cages. I want some of that as well.
I did come up with a name for the mercenary guild, and they are called the Black Hands of Kentamane.
Of course they are.
Yes.
Well.
Get to me.
Because they'll grab you.
Hey, Graxus, want to have some fun?
Sure. So I guess if you want to maybe roll a history check, I don't know that you would know about these guys kind of on the, normally. Shade might have more information if you ask him. But yeah.
And
And then what else were you looking for? That's an 11.
Actually, a 10 because Foundry is still doing that weird thing where it's
Giving you a
adding
plus
1 to
one.
all of my skill rolls. So,
I couldn't
yeah.
figure out why I was doing that. So anyway,
That's a 10.
it sounds sinister, and
Yep.
in the context of the journal, you're like, okay, this must be a mercenary guild, but you're not sure. You haven't heard about them. Theo, what's Theo up to? We haven't heard his thoughts in a bit.
Theo's feeling good. Any day that you murder a slaver, bring him back, murder him again, is a good day,
Remember, you did leave him alive, so he is
Right, but we still got to, end him more than once, which is
true.
quite an achievement.
Not like totally dead, or else you would have had to use your resurrection scrolls. But
We don't want to waste our resources.
As good as dead.
Come on, we have to be reasonable about this.
100%. So Theo feels pretty good then about that.
Good, feeling pretty jazzed.
Okay.
Except for those centaurs, Really.
Yeah. Julius, the tavern owner, comes by and he fills up all your drinks. And he leans over the counter and says, hey, did you hear about some escaped centaurs and minotaurs? I haven't seen any myself, but you seen any around?
Oh yes, some of them mentioned the Phantom was responsible.
The Phantom?
Yes.
Who's that?
Yes. A vigilante in the shadows.
Sounds like somebody who, at least from the rumors going around, took out a bunch of the slave traders.
No shit.
And let them all free.
Jeez. All right. Well, hey, more power to him. That's it's kind of scary, but seems like he's on the right side.
Sometimes justice is scary.
I mean, those minotaurs, they get a bad rap. Any I've met have been super nice. They'll drink you out of house and home, but they're good folk.
No doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt. I like I like that. I'm gonna steal that. That's mine now.
No doubt.
Yeah, cool. And I guess by this time, Magus, you're starting to hear more commotion outside.
Yep.
What?
So, yeah, I'll exit kind of the storeroom. I
was
come
it
back to the
Bemis
bar.
or Bemis?
Yeah, it's Bemis.
Bemis. He kind of he sees you come out and he gives you just like a wordless thumbs up, like, you good, bro?
I nod.
Okay, cool. He throws a towel over his shoulder and he goes back to bussing tables.
I'll go back over to the bar and let's see, is the bartender still there?
Yeah, he's kind of listening to the stories about the Phantom that your guys are regaling him with.
Okay, I'll just kind of sit there and wait for the stories to die down. Mm-hmm. You may notice Magus, the level in his drink has not decreased. he took one sip and then realized his mistake.
Why? Oh, because of how gross it is, or?
Yeah, this is this is antithetical to Magus's approach. He wants shining moments of pleasure, not just a bunch of cheap swill to drink to put your lights out.
Never half-ass it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
He's got to justify the calories. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Julius looks a little offended that you're not drinking. But he says, oh, drink it or not, you guys bring business, so.
Speaking of business, I think it's time maybe we kind of wrapped up some of ours.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you, Julius, for the hospitality.
Good to see you, Magus. You know, maybe I'll have something in here for you next time that you'll actually be able to stomach.
I know, I'm such a weakling.
Delicate.
And yeah, like I kind of like motion for people to leave, and like maybe like use message to communicate. Like maybe I think it's time we talk to Queen Valis about what we found. Just because I don't want to say that out loud.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Yeah, no worries. Is that where you guys would head then?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys make your way back across.
I would like
hill.
to do so stealthily because I do not want, at this point, I don't want to attract attention heading to the Queen's palace.
Yes, please.
Makes
Please.
sense.
I would
Okay,
like
so
a dose of stealth, please.
somebody roll that. Somebody roll that D4 roll at advantage.
Somebody rolling?
I will go ahead and roll it. So there's one. And I think that already protects us.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. You just need to not roll a 1, basically.
Yep.
Cool. So you guys stealthily. It is. I guess by this time it's about 1:30 in the afternoon, and people are pretty busy. There's a lot of like great game preparation going on. You're not being paid much attention, and you make your way up the hill through the royal gate. Between the two temples, the Temple of Sidon, the Temple of the Five, and up the hill to the Great Palace. Actually, I think as you pass the Temple of the Five, you see Valis's. What are those things called that they sit in a thing on people's shoulders?
Palanquin?
A what?
A palanquin? It's either a palanquin or a palanquin, I think.
Whoa. Well, she's a queen, so it's palanquin, I guess.
Exactly.
I'm gonna take your word for that. So that thing is parked outside. It's got a rope lazily thrown over a hitching post, and her servants are standing next to it. So you would assume that she is at the temple currently.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me put on some temple music. Oh, that's an orrery. Oh, come on. Why isn't that working? City temple. How about that? Okay. So you guys approach the Temple of the Five, again, relatively humble by comparison to the Temple of Sidon. The entrance consisting of 5 stone columns. Still a masterwork of stone artistry with lofty architecture and beautiful statues, intricate carvings embellishing almost every surface. As much gilding and inlaid precious stones as the city could spare in its construction. It's small but lovely. And you eventually do find Valis. She is maintaining, teaching some of the acolytes, and just kind of overseeing some things. Messengers visit her and then leave. And she sees you coming, and she says, "Oh, hello, welcome. Please, I assume you have news."
Actually, can I move back in time just a little bit and kind of on our way conversation?
Yeah, she casts a time warp on you.
Woo!
No, I'm just, I'm kidding. Yeah, you that's fine.
But, as we're on the way over there, I will bring up to the group. So, what do we want to do now about the auction?
The Goblin of Malta.
Yes, we get the Goblin of Malta.
That is all that matters.
Okay.
Are you saying, do we let people know about the Lady of Coins plan?
I still think it would be very dangerous for her plan to go through.
I agree.
However,
Kyra says, "But wait, if her plan was to petrify the nobles and then try to secure freedom for the Minotaurs, but they've already been freed."
right.
She may not
Do
know.
you think
let her
she's
know.
going to stop petrifying the nobles?
I mean, my understanding was that it was at least as much about sending a point than it
Right.
was about freeing any certain number of Minotaurs.
It's very true.
So, here's kind of what I'm thinking. I think it's great that we stopped the source of the current source of slaves to these markets. I do still think the structures are in place. It'll be a major setback to them, but I think it will still keep going eventually. So I do get the thought about sending a point, or making a point, sending a message. I just think the way she's going to do it will drive the nobles and the guards and the royals closer together. And we just saw, or I just saw, that the royal guard is working with Gaius and Sidon.
At least some of them.
At least some of them. What if we use this to turn them against each other?
What do you mean?
I'm good with the Lady of Coins plan right up until she petrifies them. I'm okay with that happening. They have the funds to, get themselves unpetrified. It's just her having control of them afterwards. What if we told Valis about this auction? What if instead of what if the message that came away from this wasn't attack on the city's nobles, it was nobles get caught doing a bad thing? If there's enough, if we can get enough evidence, if this ledger might be enough evidence that these nobles were engaged in not just slave trading, which is already bad, but illegal slave trading, which is officially bad, and maybe even to the point of making it so that now, in order to quote unquote save the nobles, now it's on Now the cost of unpetrifying them is on the city guard, who then already know that they're doing something bad, and instead of having the wealth of the nobles be something that buys them influence, have the nobles' activities become a liability. I'm wondering if we should tell Valis and set this up as a sting operation. We go in, we get the Goblin of Malta, we steal as much as we can, and then right as the lady petrifies everyone, we let Valis know to send in the Royal Guard.
Is this someone we really want to screw over? Is this someone we really want to screw over?
The Lady of Coins.
Yes.
I'm neutral.
I'm just thinking long-term ramifications. He has an impressive infrastructure that could make our lives difficult.
She would, yeah, and she would be a great ally.
Also, she would be a rather excruciating enemy, as her ranks include assassins and thieves.
Yes.
It's true.
Where'd that come from?
That was like, can confirm.
Was that the Phantom?
I mean, you bring up a valid idea. Falbin is leaning negative towards it, but what he likes a lot is recognition that he has additional support outside of Theo for turn them all into stone. So he loves that.
Well,
But Falbin has serious concerns about making an enemy out of this situation.
I think we're going to make an enemy, or we're either going to make an enemy of the Lady of Coins, or the social ramifications of letting it happen will put our already enemy, in the terms of Gaius, in a much stronger position in this city.
not necessarily.
Okay.
The queen's handmaid is working with the Lady of Coins. If we can get Valis and the Lady of Coins to coordinate, to have them coordinate it becoming a sting operation. The Lady of Coins could very well turn everyone into stone, but Valis is there to pick up the pieces rather than the Lady of Coins just running with it how she will. Now they become collaborators.
I mean, in order for that to work, we need to be confident about the Lady of Coins' motivations here.
No, I'm staying from the standpoint of the Lady of Coins. Whatever her motivations, if she still goes through with her plan, she can still basically get everything she wants and still work on freeing the slaves. She can still basically take with impunity from the auction, much like we're planning on doing, question mark. As well as send her message. But the queen can utilize it, can be prepared to utilize it to exactly the point that Mega's just made of the nobles being caught doing something that is already quite illegal.
I mean, yes. But in order for that to work, you must believe the words that the Lady of Coins has spoken. Is her motivation and her goal truly at an end to free the slaves? Or is it more about the social power and leverage that can be gained by having a large group of the social elite at her beck and call, literally.
Well, that is a good point. And I guess the question there would be, if that is her means and goal, wouldn't that put us already in a position of enmity with her? We need Mitros as a city on our side.
I mean, Falbin is pretty uneasy right now. He's clearly got some like backstory here or something that has really got the nervous twitch going on with him. That being said, he's going to say, since we have already chosen to not stand with the Cult of Snakes, it seems we have already made our choice, and the question is whether or not we can maintain neutrality rather than gain a friend.
If guards show up at the auction, how likely is it, do you think, that the Lady of Coins is going to think it was us?
I'd say extremely likely.
Yeah, she's got a network.
How many secret auctions have been raided? So I guess my Falbin's vote is going to be that we attempt this, and he's going to look pointedly at Magus, this harebrained scheme. We try to, as it were, lift the veil to the population of Mitros that not only is evil underway, but illegal evil.
Really separate from legal evil.
That's right.
Clear.
And hopefully that's going to shift some things, and we can do this in a way. The problem is and even now you can tell I'm torn. The problem is, if we tell Lady of the Coins what is going down, everything might go sideways. It might not be an auction. It might get canceled. It might be a bloodbath. We don't know.
Well, I don't think the Lady of Coins is in charge of the auction.
Right. You would know that
she used the theft of the goblin in order to gain entry.
You would know that this is most likely her first visit as well as yours.
How about
Interesting.
we bring up the idea of collaboration with Makaira? She probably knows the motivation, the Lady of Coins' motivations better than we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she could be a better judge on whether or not the Lady and Valis could work together on this.
Yes. Shade, Theo?
I like
Seems-
second opinions, third parties involved with decision making. I mean, I love that one guy that had popcorn. He was instrumental in our thought making process.
I believe the key point was that he didn't have popcorn. That's what he was looking.
We provided it.
Besides that,
Successfully derailed.
Yeah. And like maybe if we want to have secret discussions, I'm realizing this now, maybe we don't have it on campus. That guy can smell ethical quandaries.
I feel like this is almost a scene where you see him like running down the street towards us. Magus, I heard.
I'm here to offer no help in actually solving the problem, but just addressing how complex this is, and how many things are at work here. Yeah.
All right. So
I agree with getting some amount of input from Makaira, and then make our decision from there. Personally, I prefer the idea of leaving the information with Valis, and if for no other reason than damage control.
Yes. And I mean, we're going to the auction anyway to get the goblin back, I assume.
Yes.
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 Correctly, you assume.
Was that
We
was
can
that
do, like, on the
Shane
ground.
looking around?
was that ever
Was
a
that
question?
ever in question?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We go give this evidence to Valis. Do we want to tell Valis about the auction before or after we consult with Makaira?
Would think after we consult with Makaira, because that would
Okay.
change what we would tell her if we're telling her, trying to get her to help coordinate with the Lady of Coins, or if we just give her this information for her to do.
That's going to be a little bit difficult, just in order, like, unless we call her out publicly and say we want to drag her aside and talk to her for a moment.
Fair point.
I can, like, do 2 more, like, subtle instances of sending a message.
Well, first let's address the immediate situation, and then we can see if an opportunity arises too.
All right. Okay. Then we arrive at the temple.
Cool. Yeah, and Valis sees you, and actually, I forgot this, but she would say, "My goodness, you all look wounded. Here, come quickly." And she ushers you over to where there are several. What are the types of mages that cast healing spells? Is that
Clerics?
well, sure,
Biological
sure.
mage.
No, I mean, I mean, like, which school of magic does healing normally come from? It's
Nature.
I don't know that wizards can actually do healing magic.
not. Oh yeah.
Normally it's a
Good.
divine magic.
Oh
Yeah.
My God, you guys know D&D better than I do. Yep. Clerics.
Well, I want that on the record.
I mean, I freely admit that. I'm just the guy who decided to sit down and do this part. So I am not special in any way. But cleric. So
I've spent 6 years playing 3.5. There's a rule for everything.
that is very true. So Valis, she waves over some of her clerics. Convenient because their divine source is literally right there. But they start to, to put their hands on you and heal you. And after a few minutes, you guys are healed to full.
Yay!
Yeah.
Health.
Valis says, I'm glad to see. Hey,
didn't work.
Shade takes 69 damage. Nice. There's
No, it didn't.
Poison heal.
there's
Poison
blood.
heal.
There's blood on the
How
street.
Shade is secretly infernal.
I'm gonna clean up this blood on the map because you didn't actually get damaged.
I don't know why it won't let me fix my hit points now.
You're unconscious. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Where's the scroll?
Okay, so
There we go.
so you're healed. Valis basically is, she's pleased that that you made it out of the market, and you seem like you weren't followed. She says, "Please tell me all you found."
Is Makaira present?
No, she's not.
Fantastic. And okay. Are we alone? Like,
Yeah, she
This,
she puts a hand up, and all the clerics exit at the same time.
okay. Then yes, I will discuss. We conducted first an initial raid on the property and found this, and I will hand over the ledger. This belonged to Proximo, the head of the market, and demonstrates, and I'll kind of point out here, and here, where that these slaves were obtained by force in opposition to the laws of Mitros.
Her face is very stern reading it.
What was there any in the notebook, what did when I was looking over that, did the notebook have like incriminating evidence, or was that just, hey, here are my mercenaries?
It basically just had positions across the country where they operated in, and like dates and payment amounts and stuff. There's quantities, but it's very it's not very narrative. It's just
as corroborating evidence for if it gives like payment and
it definitely
like,
helps
and movements.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I will give that to her as well.
Okay. She says, this is a good find. I think this is a key in stopping all of this. I will have to allow certain scholars to review it for its authenticity. I trust you completely, of course, but if this is to be representative in a court, then we need it to be considered valid evidence.
Everyone on that ledger is now free.
She smiles.
And Proximo, as we left him, was unconscious, stabilized in the back of his barracks.
I am pleased that you did not slay the man. Not that I feel he is undeserving of death, but he certainly needs to stand for the crimes that he's committed. I must consider the best course of action here, because he is likely to flee. And we do need to ensure he is in court, but we need to secure a warrant, and I think this should be enough to secure that warrant. I will travel to the court today with this.
There was also a disturbing revelation. When I told you that Gaius was there, as best we can tell, he was summoned by Proximo while Proximo was hiding, and we were making our way toward him. Gaius had with him soldiers of Sidon and the King's Guard. And the King's Guard followed him.
This is not completely unsurprising. I know that my husband has been attempting to have friendly relations with the Order of Sidon where possible in order to secure the needs of the city. The marketplace has been a dark feature, but a key feature of the culture of this city for centuries, and as such, it is not strange that my husband would seek to preserve the order of it, and I'm certain the Order of Sidon has equally similar desires to keep it as it has always been. So the fact that they were there together does not necessarily concern me, but what else happened?
I will explain how I met them disguised as Proximo, so they don't know it was us. And how I'll throw in my deception about the ports and the docks. So like, hey, if you were just kind of wondering why the Kingsguard may have shut down trade for a bit, that was me. Whoops. And I will also tell her about the safe and how there was something in Proximo's possession that Gaius was keen to get back when he felt Proximo couldn't protect it anymore.
Even more so than safeguarding Proximo and his operations.
Right.
That would lead me to believe that whatever was contained in that safe was specific to the intentions that the Order of Sidon has with the slave trade. Or at least their connection to it. If it is Gaius himself who took it, it is very likely he has hidden it very carefully. Likely not even in the safe. I would suspect he evicted it from that safe as soon as possible. Whatever is inside. And if he was not already, what's the word? Starts with a P. Paranoid enough. This will elevate his paranoia.
One day we're going to have to deal with him.
One day, I would hope that you would do it outside this city. It will not be... it will be loud and noisy, I'm sure.
We don't want to disturb the general public.
Well, we don't want collateral damage.
Yeah. More like it's going to be a 7 on the Richter scale.
A classic Gray quote coming to the surface.
Yes.
That's one of your 41 quotes. Yeah, so she says, be very careful with Gaius. He operates with restraint, but I would hesitate to antagonize him here in the city. And remember, he does have a dragon with him.
Are you actually saying that?
Oh, she says, did you not know?
Is that like a dragon in quotation marks, or is that like
Oh.
a dragon?
We suspected a grown dragon or the kind your husband keeps.
Whether it is aged in a similar fashion, I don't know, but it is not small.
Sizes and everything.
Your suspicions were correct.
Do you have any thoughts on who he might be underneath the mask?
He is quite secretive. His order operates far from here, well out into the sea. Can I actually take a sec to remember if where they operate from is public knowledge? Because I would like to tell you, but I am not sure.
I don't know that you have told us.
Right.
Because we encountered them in. We knew they had a base in Astoria.
Yeah.
And yeah. We did talk with Linus a bit. So.
Right. Hold on one second. Oh, Linus. Yeah, he didn't say where their base is.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, she does know and will tell you. she says, far away into the Cerulean Gulf, there's an island called Yonder. And that is where
We'd heard rumors about that.
that is where his forces operate. And another thing that makes him so potentially unpredictable is that I do not feel that he operates under direct authorization of Sidon himself. The order is derived from the Dragonlords, if you remember. One of the latter Dragonlords was sympathetic to Sidon and formed the order, and so many of their customs, their tactics, are similar to that of the Dragonlords, and hence it would make sense that he would seek a dragon to carry him. But it is not Sidon's style, I guess, as Kyra would say. Sidon does not utilize dragons that I know of. I would consider them to be separate threats.
Before we go, there is one other thing we have learned. You asked us to inquire about the aging potions of the dragons. We were able to find out that a key ingredient in them is divine blood.
She kind of glances at Kyra. She says, well, I can only truly speak for myself, but I feel like that narrows it down quite a bit. Most likely Lutheria.
I was thinking the same.
Yes. Cannot say for sure, but it is, again, her style.
We will continue looking. I know that Condrus wanted to speak to me at some point.
He is a
Maybe
curious
that
one.
can be an in.
He almost acts as if without guidance, I would look into him. There may be potential for gathering information.
As long as he doesn't try to handcuff me to the bed. And I think that's...
Did you get your cuffs back? Case?
I assume they're like bloody, so I'm gonna have to clean them off.
How does it feel about whips?
Nope. When this conversation's done, we're done here.
Cool. She says, well, as always, be very, very careful, and discretion at the moment is, I think, the name of our game. But with this in hand, I believe we can start to make real changes.
That is the hope.
The last thing she says is, I can tell there's something you're not telling me, but I'm not going to inquire. Just know that if you need me, I am here.
Well, this is more on the personal side. something was stolen from us. Have you ever heard of the auction?
I've heard whispers that the nobles have chosen an alternate location. I suppose the auction is what it has been called.
Do you know who is typically involved in this?
Well,
what sort of... Is it...
Proximo himself would have been there, I assume, but I don't think he will be there this time.
No, he won't. We seek to reclaim our belongings. We're just trying to understand what we might face getting in there, and who might be in attendance.
Well, I would assume by when is this auction?
Tomorrow night?
Well, by that time, I'm sure the news that the Minotaurs and Centaurs have been freed will be spread, and those who might attend in order to purchase said Minotaurs and Centaurs will either refrain from attendance or continue for other reasons. Either way, it will be a shakeup. But in terms of dangers, I would say when it occurred at the market, it was done in plain sight, and there was not much to worry about, but people will be on edge, even in shadow. And I doubt you will face much in the way of martial prowess, but be careful.
It's less about martial prowess, as in what type of figures might be there and who we might make enemies of.
If there is anyone I suspect to have genuine knowing dealings with Proximo, is Terran Nerdigan. If he is there, he is the one person that I would point to with near assuredness that he understands the nature of what goes on in the market.
With this ledger, do you think you could prove that he understands what the nature of it?
Looking at it, it only shows the discrepancy between how they were obtained and the reason they were sold for. There's no way to know whether someone willingly looked beyond the quoted reason without speaking to them. Even then, they would be hard to prove in a court. Of course, they will deny if brought onto the stand. But if the court is willing to pursue this to a deeper degree, there may be additional subsequent warrants issued to seek for information within the houses of these nobles. It will just be difficult because if any danger to them is suspected, they will likely destroy evidence.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My counsel would be to If this auction is occurring, I think we should take no action legally until after it has occurred.
Good to know.
Well then, we thank you for your counsel.
She bows and she says, I thank you. You've been instrumental in a way that I've long desired. Due to my position, there's little I'm capable of truly accomplishing, and you have given me hope.
Sometimes chaos can do that.
Gives a big ol' eyebrow to Theo. Cool. Well, she slaps you on the ass and says, good game, and then goes back to the other room.
Thanks, coach.
Get back in there.
Okay. After we leave, I'm going to express that, well, Lycaira wasn't there. I am fresh out of higher spells. If I want to communicate with people, I'm gonna have to take 4 hours and get them back. I think I also want to check in with Silas if we're going to be sending more Minotaurs to him.
Sure.
That would be a good idea.
Do we want to just like skip ahead to like this evening after you've had a chance to rest, and then we'll do those things?
That's what I'm planning to do for the next 4 hours.
Works
Yep.
for me.
So
I mean, we might have some conversation in the intervening time, but
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Maybe some popcorn.
I'm going to go back to my apartment and see that Hercules is okay and whatnot.
Do you guys just
I
all
don't
go
know if-
together, or like I guess during this time, some of you could have gone to the Agora and made your purchases that you did in the chat.
Yep.
Where's you guys' like home base right now for the next day and a half?
I mean, I would think it would be whatchamacallit, Magus's
Apartment. Yeah, that's
Kind
that's
of the
cool with me.
quasi the most secure location we have at the moment, which
Yeah.
is a little weird, but all right.
I would like to go back with Magus. I need to get some measurements from Hercules.
Interesting.
Okay, what are you planning?
Don't worry about it.
He's my pet. I am worrying about it.
Okay, it won't hurt him. All right, it will be non-invasive. It'll be something you can take off. It'll be fine. Be really cool though.
As long as I get final sign off on the project.
Yeah, I'll let you undersign.
Okay. Yeah. I go back to apartment and start my long rest.
Okay. We'll advance by 4 hours. So it is now about 6 o'clock. And say Magus and Falbin, you guys have had it. Or sorry, Shade and Falbin have had enough time to go to the Agora and back. Anything you guys specifically want to do while you're out or talk about?
Specifically, Shade would want to kind of ask the question with, based on what Valis said, do we want to do anything about the Lady of Coins, or let that play out? Valis might change her mind if she knew what is coming, or at least what could be coming.
I I think we have made a choice that the only tenuous route to potential neutrality here is through Makaira.
And she happens to be
MIA.
yeah.
A play through Valis is risky.
Yes, it is.
My stance is that we let it unfold. But as you know, it's what I've always been.
Okay, so Falbin is inclined to attend, but to not get in the way of the Lady of Coins, essentially. In terms of like follow up or aftermath, what are his thoughts on that?
You mean with regard to like Valish and troops showing up, or like what do we do?
Like after Lady of Coins petrifies everybody, like what happens next? Or do you just like let them sit there?
You know, Falbin's kind of up in the air on this one. He got an oath out of Shade, and he's letting it play out.
Fair. Okay. Okay, yeah. So you guys go and you get your stuff. I will say that Shade, you also find some Kestis gloves that you were looking for Magus's brother.
Yes.
They are, I'm gonna say they're +1 Kestis gloves. Doing a D6 of bludgeoning damage, and when you hit somebody, they need to make a strength save and not be knocked prone. They are brawlers Kestises.
Is this a purchase that Shade you are making on your own, or something you had coordinated with Magus?
I mean, Shade was just gonna kind of go for it, but you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if
But
that was
it's
something you were planning already.
it's for Magus's brother. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because he's the one who mentioned them to Adrian.
Adrian. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And so he's like,
those would be like
you should do that.
those would be like 50 gold.
Hey, that cleans me out.
Oh wow.
I mean, unless I didn't update my gold from what we got from everything else, but.
We got like 20 gold from the slavers.
Okay, well then, yeah, that cleans me out.
Okay. Yeah, because that was actually something like I was planning on doing tomorrow. All right.
Well,
You're
yeah.
too late.
Anyway, so Magus and Theo, you're back at the apartment. Hercules, he has made a couple small messes. He's not
I
entirely.
leave that to Theo because Theo decided that he wanted to deal with Hercules.
No, I said measure. It's your responsibility.
Fine, I'll take care of it to the best. I mean, I grew up on a farm. I know how to deal with this.
Yeah.
It's like the college student that leaves for college but leaves the animal at home for the parents to take care of. So I'll get my calipers and start measuring while you're cleaning up the doo-doo.
Theo, let's get the first roll out of the way. An animal handling check, please. Well, no, that's not the first roll. Who am I echoing on? Oh, I think it's Davey. I'm getting a slight echo from you.
Okay.
Animal
Is that better?
handling.
Testing. Yeah, it's better. Wait, no, I still hear myself.
How about that?
Testing. There we go. Yeah. A 19 animal handling. Wow.
I know my animals.
Yeah, you. I think he seems kind of curious about your horns. And between you and Rue sitting on your shoulder, he's very engaged in what is going on. So you're able to take measurements without him really even realizing what you're doing. And yeah, you now have the the exact size of this red panda.
Excellent. Now for some other clinical tests. What is the load-bearing capacity?
I'm gonna say like 5 pounds.
5 pounds.
Uh-oh.
Gotcha.
Oh, Davey, I'm sorry. I'm still getting echo from you.
I don't know what else to do.
Oh, you have headphones?
Yeah, if you could just turn off your microphone for the rest of the session.
No, I don't.
Okay, I can do.
Oh no.
No.
After all the trouble you went through to get those fresh
I mean,
drivers.
typically
too.
when I mute myself, I get like a different weird echo.
Right. Try muting yourself now and let's see what it does. Yeah, it's a worse echo. What the hell? Okay,
You
well,
cannot win.
all right, well, it'll be fine. It's quiet. Anyway, so okay, what else is Theo doing with Hercules, the red panda?
I think just getting an overall feel for temperament, how I would feel that it would do under stress, stressful environments.
Probably not great under stress.
It's a red panda. It throws its hands up and falls on its back.
Yep, and it is a luxury pet, so it has probably never been in a real stressful situation.
So we'll have to start some workout routines for sure.
Yeah.
All right. We gotta start with some good food here, Magus. We gotta get some high-end nutrition because we've got to put this bad boy through its paces. All right. Hercules, you can't give something that name and then expect it to just roll over.
I think that was kind of the point. It was supposed to be adorable in the irony.
Well, you missed the mark on that one. So
It's
have
about
to train him up now.
It's about this time that Shade and Falvin come in through the door.
So,
As part of my long rest, just to add a bit of flavor, because I mentioned, like, you asked what a long rest meditation was like for Magus.
Sure.
Beforehand, and I said it was like he's like going over magic and deconstructing it down to its base layers.
Very cool.
This time he's going to do that with philosophy. So he's going to take like all of the different methods of philosophy that he's heard at this school and kind of like apply the Socratic method to them and break them down to their base contradictions.
Okay. Yeah.
Just after his experience of sanctioning torture.
All right. And what do you arrive at from that?
Well, the Socratic method actually doesn't construct anything. It just it's just for deconstruction.
All right.
So it's more just kind of a. It isn't meant to answer any questions. It's just
so
kind of
you can process
yeah.
what has been going on. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not trying to make any like monumental breakthroughs in philosophy right now. It's just how do I feel about all this? And
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a cool, like, introspective sort of activity that is relaxing mechanically for you. And yeah, shortly before Shade and Falbin return, you feel your magic energy return, and you're ready to go.
And kind of like as they return, I'm just gonna kind of go up and like go kind of to the door, like almost halfway out into the hall, with my back to them, and I'm going to open Giannis's letter.
Okay.
I'm gonna read the note.
One moment. Let me get that over to you. I'm also going to put on a track. Forgive the crudity of it. Okay, it's in your Magus chat. Whenever you're ready, I'll play this.
If it's how long is the track?
Like 2 minutes, a minute and a half.
Okay, then maybe like part way, like in the last few sentences then.
How long do you think this will take you to read?
I mean, not long, but I plan on doing, like, if it's what I think it is.
It's
then
not.
There'll be some stuff after. It's not?
No, you won't know what this is.
Okay.
I'm just going to play it. Go for it.
Okay. Dear Magus, it's not often at my age and station you find yourself surprised. This magic focus you've devised, deceptively humble in appearance, let's just say you could have made it a lot flashier. How does a master teach himself something new? Something on which no books have been written. After the first day wearing it, I realized I could feel something, but had no way of tapping into it or remotely understanding what it was. You ever meet someone that can wiggle their ears or shape their tongue into a flower while you sit there dumbfounded on how you could even begin? But then, after just forgetting about it for a while, somewhere in my subconscious I felt the link. That tiny nerve that just needed to be plucked to form the flower. Magus, it took me days of singular focus on that speck of a feeling until finally I saw myself produce 2 mage hands for the first time in my life. I don't know what your plans are for the future, but I can't wait to be a student again. It works! I kind of like turn to the rest of the group. It works. I cracked it. I cracked it.
Kyra comes out and she's like dancing with excitement with you.
I like take her hands and like spin her around a moment. It's like, oh, the Oracle was wrong. Source of my power, Sidon. Lineage of Cassandra. This wasn't Sidon. This wasn't Cassandra. And I clasp my arm over the bracer, over the armband, and I smile and I say, "This was me." And for the first time, I cast Fly.
In the hallway.
I mean, I'm like out in the hallway.
Sure.
I have a picture of like a balcony, like on a second floor of a hotel.
Yeah. Find your bliss, homie. So you levitate up off the floor, and
I rocket into the sky.
Kyra's hand slips as you fly up and swirl around in the sky, gleeful, triumphant, and return at your own leisure.
I am like making circles. I am doing like corkscrews. There's prestidigitation fireworks going off.
I should have left the song running. If you didn't notice, that was the roughly the chord progression for the On Top of the World song from Imagine Dragons, which you mentioned earlier. And I played that, by the way. That's me.
Nice.
Nice.
The reason I said forgive the crudity is because I've never recorded anything before, and I also did not have a metronome. So anyway, I'll put that in the general later if you want to listen to it again. But yeah, Kyra is ecstatic at your ecstasy, essentially.
Yeah. It lasts for a minute, so like I like do circles for a minute.
We'll say this is when Shade and Falbin return.
And I land like I like give Kyra just like as like I kind of like swirl it, like you swoop in for the landing, I like give her a big hug. And yeah, that is the state that you find Magus in.
Yeah, she squeezes you tight. It's a very warm, very genuine hug. I mean, she's proud of you, you know. So yeah.
Well, it looks like you found some good news.
Magic is awesome. And so am I!
That's going to go on the t-shirt.
All right. Cool.
Rue's like, hey, I'm the fly guy around these parts.
I cast Earthbind.
My time of taking you seriously is coming to a middle, Magus. Hercules is like, whoa, cool. Yeah, so you know that your magical focus, at least the effects that it gives you, are from your ingenuity. Cool. That's been a while coming.
That has been weighing on him since episode 3.
I'm glad we were able to get to help with that. That's good. Well, you guys are all together now. What's next?
Okay, I guess you guys want some magic stuff. Who do I contact first? I guess Makaira?
Would think so.
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, I will cast Sending to Makaira.
Okay. You cast Sending, and we can just treat this as basically a conversation. Don't worry about counting words.
Okay. Then yeah, like I will express that freed a bunch of minotaurs today, provided Valis with proof that the trade was illegal, hoping to get some wheels turning there.
Okay. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Continue.
And then I will express, like, we want to prevent a shakeup of the nobles that would put the law on their side. Do you think the Lady of Coins would be willing to work with Valis in this regard?
Let's see. I think she would roughly express that, the Lady of Coins has her eyes on home, and if the slaves have been freed and all the contracts have been nullified, she will likely go to leave soon. but the nobles are not without use immediately. She would also add, please do not make an enemy of her now.
I mean, it depends on what she's planning with the nobles.
I mean, do you ask her, or is that another spell?
So like I can only say one thing in sending, so I think I would also like maybe include like in my initial message if there's a place that we could talk further.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
she could come here.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys wait about an hour, and she knocks at the door. It's a very like rigid like dink 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 dink. There's no pattern. It's just dink dink dink
Okay.
dink.
Yep. I'll open it.
Just hi. There's a lot of people in here.
I've had more. Anyway.
I mean, that Hercules takes up a lot of space.
He really does.
She looks at you, Theo, and says, "You've caused quite a stir recently."
Sure. I do so much. Which part are you referring to?
I'm sure you remember. Okay, so what in the world are you all planning?
So honestly, it depends on what the Lady of Coins is planning. I think it was, as expressed in our last meeting with her, we, at least some of us, do not like the idea of her having control, petrifying all of the nobles at the auction and then having control over their fates.
Well, like I said on the phone, I'm pretty sure that this will be the last thing she does in this city. I think she will ready to leave after tomorrow.
If it's the last thing that she does, it will still be extremely harmful.
I believe in her mind it will be an inconvenience, but she will emerge with the last great infusion of funding she needs.
Does she need the nobles under her control for that funding? Does she need to keep the statues for that funding?
I think maybe she thought she did before, but now, with what you've done, I think she's ready to cut her losses and leave.
Because I think everyone here is fine with her plan up until the petrification.
Well, here's a thought. If you are willing to help her rob the place blind, maybe she would be willing to forgo the petrification?
I'm good with robbing everyone blind. I'll look around to the group.
It's my favorite pastime.
Preferably they're blind while you're robbing them.
The thing is, she's going to want to take the vast majority of the share. I doubt she's going to cut any sort of reasonable split with you.
I think we just want the goblin.
If all you truly want is the goblin, and
Well,
you're
and
willing...
money. As much money as we can have getting away with this.
We'll take what we can get, I mean. But the goblin is the main thing.
Are you willing to meet with her again? If not, you can take your chances tomorrow night and try to
think
convince
we
her
would be.
then.
You think she'd be conducive to a meeting? She didn't seem all that excited last we met.
One question.
Hmm?
You said she needs one last infusion of funding before she leaves this city. That makes it sound like her goal had nothing really to do with freeing the slaves in this city. She's focused elsewhere. Is that correct?
If you had asked me 2 days ago, I would have said you're crazy. Of course she cares about the enslaved here, but now it's like she doesn't even think about it. She had been using at least some of the money she was taking from the nobles to buy their contracts, or not to buy their to purchase and to buy out their contract and provide them freedom, and 9 out of 10 would offer their help to her cause out of gratitude. It was not oathbound. It was simply she was giving them a new purpose that they were willing to and excited to go along with. And now that they're all free, it's like she doesn't even speak about it.
The reason I ask is I would surmise, based on our last meeting and your own words, that her focus would be the islands that the Amazons live on.
Themis, yes.
Shade would kind of glance at Theo. Is that where she's headed next? Is she attempting to do something similar there?
Well, Themis is it's our home, looking at Theo too. And she was driven from it long ago. I think she desires change there, and she's been amassing a force to go do that.
So, do you think she would be, if the similar things to what is happening here is happening there, as Theo, you've attested, and Makaira, yourself? I don't know what the future holds for us, but I would imagine we would be similarly aligned with trying to end that situation as well.
Definitely.
What do you surmise her goal would be in Themis?
I assume free the Amazons, overturn the system, and
Yes.
prevent it from happening again.
Oh,
Anarchy.
yes.
Yes.
I mean,
I would hope
essentially.
not necessarily that,
Well,
because
yeah,
that's how the weak just get crushed. But
Her time here in Mitros has simply been to prepare for her journey.
well, it may be that our paths could align again, and we might be able to. Shade kind of glance around the rest of the party. We might be able to meet with her and discuss what would happen at the auction, as well as the possibility of future collaboration.
I have my doubts, but I think if you are willing to go along with her and help her come away from this with as much as she wants, I think a potential alliance in the future could be possible.
I think at the very least we have common enemies.
Yes.
Yes.
And you are on thin ice with her. Getting in her way would, even if she leaves, she has many people here who would remain, and she would instruct them to make things difficult for you.
I imagine with the events of the past day and what we've found, the biggest concern that we hold is who controls the destiny of the petrified nobles. If Mitros itself has the means to unpetrify them and investigate them as needed, rather than the Lady of Coins merely just ransoming them all to whoever's willing to pay, feel that that could leave Mitros in a much better state for what's to come between, well, really us and the Titans, which is our end goal.
Very, very well. Again, I think the petrification need not happen if you are willing to help her ensure she, gets out with everything she wants. But coordination with the city, I believe she would want to secure guarantees that she would not be reprised against while she remains in the city or in the future, that she could leave scot-free.
I think that we are speaking in hypotheticals without her here. I think we would be amicable to meet with her.
Okay, I can see if I can get something before tomorrow night.
Thank you. Will you leave with her?
I haven't decided. She assumes I will, but I don't know. I don't know if Lady Valis would have me. I haven't told her yet. She may make the decision for me.
My personal preference is to side with the one more likely to show mercy.
She kind of
But that is...
looks around, thinking over that.
Yeah, that's my input.
All right. Well, how do I reach you with information on the meeting? Actually, I think she has her own stimfay, kind of like Thea,
yes,
or like Rue. So she will, like, if I can find you here, I'll send my stimfay.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. All right. She gives like a military bow and then heads out. Yeah. So you eventually, probably like 2 or 3 hours later, get a bird flies to the window, mechanical bird, kind of like Rue. It seems to not even acknowledge Rue. Rue's maybe pretty curious, like, hey, what the fuck? What are you doing here? And and this other bird is, you know,
Why are you on my perch?
caw, I say.
Everything's fine now.
You can guffaw right off.
It drops a note and then flies back away. And the note says to meet. Let's see. The note says to meet inside the the cargo hold of the Charybdis II in the in the harbor, the dockyard, in as soon as possible.
Okay.
So I guess in those couple hours, we would probably actually want to talk about what we'd be willing to agree to and what we wouldn't.
Yeah, totally.
We're open to anything. No rules. Yep.
It's a blank checkbook to
Yep.
Valden.
Let's go.
Yeah. Magus just wants to secure the fates of the nobles, that they don't fall into her hands post auction.
Yeah. Okay.
Whether they get petrified or not. Like,
Yeah,
are we okay with them
if
being
they're petrified? Yeah, Magus is actually
Yes.
okay with them being petrified, because if they're petrified, they can't go home and destroy evidence.
Exactly. Exactly. It only took 3 sessions. Falvin is just on top of the moon.
Exactly. Finally, they have seen the light, and we may proceed. And the only other fault is that you're not on board with the Goblin of Malta. But that too, you shall get on board with eventually, as everyone does.
Kyra says, Magus, I see the goblin-shaped hole in your heart begin to grow, and
See?
and soon,
You know.
soon you will long for its return. Yeah,
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Shade would ask one logistics question to Falbin, because he might be the one that would know. Is how difficult is it to actually unpetrify someone? You gave us this softening oil.
I did indeed.
Other than this, what is involved to unpetrify?
You're saying, like, if you didn't use softening oil, or are you saying,
like how much could somebody make? How long would it take? So the type of thing of, is this going to be, we can unpetrify 3 of them, and there's 30 that are petrified. The rest of them are just going to be there for several years or something like that. That's trying to understand from, because Shade's perspective, as he stated to Makaira, is we're still going to need probably a good deal of these people to help Mitros be ready to face the Titans. If we shoot ourselves in the foot and leave Mitros in chaos, we're not going to necessarily have what we need to face the Titans, which is our end goal.
I think what Falbin would know as a character is that, basically the acquisition of softening oil is rather involved. I mean, it's not readily available.
It's basilisk bile, essentially.
It's basilisk bile, right? So you mean, like, making it is a bit of an ordeal, and the ingredients are somewhat rare.
You guys just killed a bunch of basilisks.
Yep. So even if you can find it, it's not cheap. So it's cost prohibitive. And aside from that, the other mechanisms for petrification, I'm not sure if Falbin would know. Like, he would know rumors, probably, I guess. DM.
Yeah. Let me confirm one little thing here.
So, like, one of the things he would ask would be like, "Hey, Magus, magic is awesome. Could magic undo petrification?"
Yeah.
because Shade's trying to think about from his perspective. He's at this point grudgingly so, but more quote unquote morally fine with petrifying everybody. But from a logistics wise, he's like, is this gonna make it so effectively Mitros is defenseless against the Titans when that happens?
So
Magus is fine with it as long as it is expensive but still available.
So I'm gonna make a DM call here. Stuff like Greater Restoration will not reverse petrification in this setting. So as far as you guys know, the Basilisk Bile is the only known way of reversing or undoing petrification. So in order to do so, you would need to go find some more basilisks and take them alive.
I mean, we've got like 3 eggs or something.
You do, but they're going to be small.
Left. I could check in with Timon.
Can we? So, do the basilisks need to die for it to be extracted? Could this be a renewable source? You know, we gotta think long term
right
here.
into their spine.
Yes. Can we tap? Can we tap their spine and kind of get a just a ongoing supply, or is it like they have to die and then we get one use?
I mean, we
what
just
kind of a volume? Yeah, like how much volume?
Nobody,
can we
I don't
get
think
out of a
anybody so
basilisk?
far has attempted a basilisk
milking?
bile milking situation. But
I think we'll need to look into that.
you guys are
think
doing a
we'll need
lot
to
of
look into
firsts,
that.
so you know. So I will tell you there are more basilisks in this world than the ones that you killed. So whether that is, you know, looking for more like one-time use, like killing them and extracting it, or trying to figure out a way to extract it while they're alive, those are possibilities. But as it is now, there's probably only enough in Mitros to do like a portion of the nobles that'll be there at the moment.
Okay.
But I like that you guys are thinking about it.
So how about we keep that as something that we are grudgingly able to accept, but we don't bring it up until it's necessary.
Sure. Okay, yeah. That works. It seems like you guys are on the same page.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll get some Docks District
Everybody's down.
ambience.
As we're like making our way to the auction, Calvin's like just like humming to himself, stones.
Stones.
Shade is actually a little creeped out by a happy, cheerful Falbin. This is so anti-Falbin.
Magus is still riding high, and he's like, he has like the song like "Rubber Band Man" by the Detroit Spinners.
Yep.
That's kind of how he's walking right now.
Y'all prepare yourself for the rubber band. Yeah, so it's nighttime. It's dark by the time you reach the Docks District. There are lanterns, lamps out, and
But it's more about trying not to get mobbed, though.
yeah. At this point, it's dark enough. Yeah, you guys don't need to worry about it.
Okay, cool.
And eventually, you get to the general area where the note described the Charybdis II, the name of the ship. And it's a modest, not huge, not small-sized merchant vessel that is, it's parked backwards so you can see the name on the back. Although I don't know that that's how ships work. Well, they can reverse. Anyway, I need to play Sea of Thieves again. But you approach the rear of the ship on the pier, and then you hear like a kind of thing, and a light comes on in the in one of the cargo hold areas, and a door, or like a whatever it is, like a door that opens.
Porthole.
Nah,
Hatch.
it's like not a hatch, but like a
Portal.
that opens so that you can walk across it, like a
Gangplank.
gangplank
Threshold.
kind of thing. Yeah. It opens
I
without.
love this game.
Yeah, what is it? No, what's like in a castle, a drawbridge kind of thing, but it's not a drawbridge. It's on a boat.
Like a moat.
Whatever.
Gangplank.
Whatever.
Gangplank.
The gangplank. And it is open and awaiting your entrance.
I mean, I didn't get this far by not walking into suspicious doors.
I mean,
they did the whistle we were clearly told about, so
Yeah,
this is the right spot.
It's you weren't told about the whistle, but it's Thieves Guild as hell. You know you're in the right spot. All right. Well, you guys make your way in, and inside you don't see anybody. There is, crates and barrels stacked up everywhere. There's rope and like dried goods hanging from the low ceiling. And then kind of out of the corner, you hear a, well, I did not expect to see you all so soon.
Falbin looks to see who the hell's talking to us.
I mean, it's Lady Coins.
I'd like to think we'd recognize the voice.
Yeah, I said it and I was like, wait, is that what she sounds like? It's roughly that. I don't know. And you can actually see she's sitting up on top of a barrel.
I mean, Falbin is like riding this one. He's like looking for Magus and Shade to make the moves here. Specifically because of the oath he had Shade take, and because Magus has been the mouthpiece so far, basically with everything Lady of Coins.
Falbin, can you remind us what the oath was with Shade?
The oath with Shade was that, if I recall, was basically that Shade would do all in his power to essentially free the slaves, and to change the environment for the better.
Provided the method we used to do it, the party agreed on.
And so part of this is like Falbin's ideology, as you may recall, was like pretty dead set on like they all need die. And the group wasn't quite convinced, and then we went and found the logbook, and then Shade was like, well, maybe we can kill this one. And now Magus and Shade are like, well, maybe they could be stoned, so long as like they can be unstoned. And so Falbin's just like, I don't know, basking isn't the right word, but it is very meaningful and impactful that Magus and Shade are the ones that are making the choices.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Because you have such strong like feelings about what should happen, but you are kind of like letting go of the reins, despite that that passion.
If Magus doesn't speak up first, Shade would go for it and just be like, well, after putting our, or really, I guess, my eyes on what was actually happening in the Minotaur markets, and a little bit of reading material we found, we had, well, again, I, at least, had a slight change of heart. Your methods, while still extreme, don't seem entirely unfitting.
It is very interesting. If only you had known your city as much as I do. We may have had a much more amicable first meeting. But I am willing to forgive. Ignorance is rampant in this city, and it is only those who are able to see through the veil without restrictions that see the truth. And I'm glad you are finally able to part that veil. She's being condescending.
Yeah. Jade would, he wouldn't really respond to that.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
We were hoping that perhaps with changing circumstances, the goals of our goals at the auction may have changed, so that they can now perhaps we can speak of them again and arrive at a conclusion that was less hostile than before.
You're ready to play ball then.
My position remains unchanged, but I am willing to discuss.
Well, here is where I am in regards to tomorrow night. I am a thief. All my soldiers are thieves. We are the best at what we do, but it is no sin to make a target a little easier to rob rather than break a sweat. Hence the petrification. It is simple, and we will be able to pick the place clean at our leisure.
That was just like stone.
I believe we can all be in agreement with picking the place clean. If that could be done without petrification, would the petrification be necessary?
It certainly makes it simpler. And what do you have in mind? How would you pacify at least a dozen plus their honored guests? Roughly 35 people.
We have had experience with deceiving those in power and taking from under their noses. We will be there to retrieve our painting. I can understand if you would want to bring your preferred method. But if we could accomplish the goal independently, in your aid, would you still feel the need to use it?
How about this? I will bring my little toy, and if you are able to help me accomplish this before the end of the auction, then I will decline. I will not use it. I can use it another day.
something that I think perhaps could be useful in future endeavors.
Yes. It will be difficult. Do you have any idea of how you will, on how you will do this?
I guess right now, yeah. If anybody has ideas,
do we have any idea of how much loot we're talking about here? Is this like 2 metric tons? Is this 1 ton? Is this like 32 pounds?
We're gonna need to empty the bag of holding in Magus's apartment to make sure we have space. Let's
Dude,
just
you
get
need
that
to
clear
take-
first.
You need to take your axe, man.
Yes, I would advise a bag of holding that thirsts to be filled.
Thirsts to be filled. Oh, always.
The purses alone will be quite heavy.
Oh, okay.
I like heavy purses.
Okay. I don't know if we were thinking about that, but now we need to sleight of hand every single participant.
yeah, we have, like, we have.
I just want to ease their burden. That's a lot of weight to be carrying around.
Well,
We have thieves ourselves,
We do.
and
we do.
the issue is not everyone will have their gold on their person. There will be some sort of vault on this at the site, and it will be difficult to enter.
We have a thief.
and we have means of entering.
Checking that he's got the lock-picking tools.
Yep.
This will not
I
be
have the boom boom if your tools don't
this
work.
will not be any simple lock.
That is fine.
The
We have both magical and non-magical means.
The curator will have safeguarded this vault very carefully.
Indeed.
No doubt. No doubt.
If you are comfortable
Right.
with this.
We would certainly welcome any information you may have that would aid us, but it seems that
I do not know what the vault looks like is the problem.
then we will play it by ear. We have gotten very far doing so.
If you yeah.
And it seems that you will have your method there as well for your comfort.
Well, it sounds like we are on the same boat.
So just a talking point that we need to clear up here. In the event that you decide to use your contraption, how are we not going to be stoned?
Well, if you will swear an oath to help me and to ensure, and she's looking at Kyra, that all of you will protect me from a reprisal as I leave the city, then I will offer you a safeguard.
I mean, this is player talk, but the last time we met with her, didn't she just say, like, don't be in the room when it goes off type of thing?
Yeah, she did say that, but seems like she has something else.
But we're not really we're like frenemies in this arrangement. So it's like, maybe she's gonna use it and maybe we'll be in the room.
Yeah, you guys don't know how it activates and when.
And but we do know that if we haven't effectively incapacitated everybody in the room, she's probably going to use it.
Probably.
So,
At some point during the auction.
right.
I have. We let us return to the topic of the oath in a moment. If it does end up that we do use your method, I believe the sticking point when we spoke last is what would happen to the nobles afterwards, and that I particularly was not comfortable that they would be in your care indefinitely.
I was open to you deciding how to release them last time we spoke.
By our own methods. Basically, would you be willing, in the event that you use your device and they are petrified and you rob them that way, would you be willing to leave them there after you rob them?
Yes, I have no desire to take them with me.
Very well. I believe that only leaves the matter of the oath and the protections.
Yes.
Yeah, because just player talk was, unless we were mistaken, her intent seemed to be last time that she was basically going to ransom everybody petrified as well as robbing them.
And I believe the details were that she would keep them and just tell us where they were.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, in regard to the oath, I am not sure how, to the extent to which we could necessarily defend you from reprisal in an active sense. We have been able to accomplish what we have by being outside the law, so to speak. So I think we can certainly agree to not encourage any reprisals or seek any reprisals. Defending might be difficult in the same way that we would not ask you to defend us to the king.
You are influential, and all I desire is for you to use your influence to speak on my behalf. Say that the curse of the Lady of Coins and her cult of the snake has finally lifted from the city, and there's nothing further to worry about. Whatever it takes.
I would be, and I'm looking to the rest of the group and to Kyra at this point. Like I am comfortable, like offering advice in that direction.
Kyra says, "I'm fine with it. Yes, me too."
Okay.
I
Provided.
have. Oh, go ahead.
And then I would say I am fine with that and look over at the Lady of Coins, provided that this situation, like in regards to this situation, like provided that you, like, I don't want to be bound interminably should you return with an army of Amazonians to conquer the city for an absurd hypothetical.
It is absurd. If I may reassure you, my crimes toward Mitros are many and well known, and I am only asking for help regarding this specific instance.
Jade, you were saying something?
I would only have a few points of clarification on the specific wording of such an oath.
Tiger
From the
Pulls his
From the
glasses out.
standpoint, you stated that we would do everything in our power, that you would do everything we could, whatever it takes. That is unacceptable. We will do our best to assist your departure, and we will do our best to influence, but we will not do anything active to prevent Matrosian guards from doing their duty. Ideally, the intent of this whole situation and operation is that you would be able to rob all the attendees of the auction and escape scot-free and leave the city unaccosted. If things go south, we are not going to compromise our ability and entire relation with Mitros, and again, its support for our coming conflict with the Titans, for you not answering for your own crimes.
She nods. I accept this revision, and I would hope that the fact that the nobles are in an illegal, underground, hidden auction would hold their tongues, so that you would probably not have to say anything in my aid.
I would hope so as well, but as I've already seen in my short experience dealing with nobles, and I'm sure you've seen before, they don't always make wise decisions.
Almost never. Very well, I accept.
I'm willing to accommodate this.
Yep.
Theo? Falbin?
I
I mean, you can tell on his face that Falbin's getting a little
Excited.
concerned that there may not be so much petrification going on, but he'll okay this.
She says she can see your snakes like looking like a little and she says, "My dear Falbin, you are free to petrify whoever you like down there."
Just think, Falbin walks in, hood back, just staring at everybody dead in the eye.
All right, now roll a DC 10 Constitution save.
Somebody's gonna fail eventually.
You turn to Slate.
fail.
You turn
the
to
real reason we
Slate.
didn't want the bomb is because we wanted Falbin to be able to do it himself.
You're really taking
That's our fallback plan.
That's their fallback plan.
taking the
Actually,
wind
like-
out of our boys' sails.
All right. Yeah, Magus is good with it.
Okay, so it seems like the conditions of the oath are you will help her basically get all the money and stuff from the nobles. You haven't said anything about a split. I think as it is, she's basically gonna take everything.
Yeah, I mean, Falbin wasn't going to bring it up, but nobody's mentioned that we get to keep the goblin yet.
Right.
Oh, I would add that.
Okay.
Definitely.
She
Gotta
she
keep
already.
Falbin.
Yeah.
That would naturally be understood at this point. Okay.
And she already
We
did
don't need
include
to-
that in the last deal you had. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you
They
get to keep the
know.
goblin. Yeah. She she doesn't know how much money's gonna be there. Neither do you. So
I mean, other than the I know the assumption is that this is all player talk, just to keep it up on the board.
Okay.
I know her assumption is that we're letting her take everything, but nothing says if we see nobody's saying anything about if we see something we want, we can't just pocket it.
yeah. I mean,
The
yeah.
oath doesn't prohibit that.
I may also ask if there is a rough target that she's looking for to not petrify everyone.
a rough target.
Yeah, so
how much gold
you need to
value?
get 10,000 gold by midnight, sort of thing.
Oh.
And that's something you may be.
I think
You may
in
be
the
able to
in the
send us
spirit
later.
in the spirit of it, most of the gold is going to be in the vault. So cracking the vault, it's not going to be. It's going to be you're going to have to do it basically in view of almost everybody. So unless everybody is pacified in some way, they're going to try to stop you. You also don't want the nobles of the city to know that you helped rob them, essentially.
Right.
because that would go against them helping you in the future. So, yeah, I mean, I think the majority of the gold's going to be in the vault. She's going to want that.
Okay.
But certain items will be brought out for the auction. You know, you guys can just straight up buy something. Like, that's fine.
I don't think we're gonna have the money to buy something.
I don't know how much money you guys have in total.
Not much.
I have about 1,200 gold.
1,200 gold?
Got 700.
I need to check.
Check. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
1883.
1883. Shit. Okay, so together you
Dang,
guys have
I
like
have-
over 3,000, close to 4,000 gold.
What
There's
have you
no
been
way I
spending
kept
your
my
money
gold
on?
up
Have
to
you?
date then.
Yeah, have you been gambling? We had that massive windfall. Unless you have some vice that you're not telling us.
Shade, I'm gonna give you a cool little 1,000
I only had,
gold
like-
for spending. How about that?
1,000 gold.
Because I have no
Yeah,
idea how
'cause
much
I
gold you're
had,
supposed to
like-
have.
I had what I had on my sheet was like 750. Yeah, 750, and then I had to spend some silver to make up the 2
Okay.
gold.
Well, yeah, so you have 1,000 now. We'll spending money. Cool. She
like,
says,
man,
Allowance has to last a month, so you have to control your gambling for at least that long.
Dang it.
she will say, I can't promise a percentage, but if you will allow a maximum of 10,000 gold purse for you, depending on what the total is. So if there's enough to go around, and you know she can give you up to 10,000, but if there's only 10,000 in the vault, she's gonna take most of that.
Okay.
All right.
I think it's fine with that.
This is going to be a lot of dollars. 10,000. These are high rollers.
Yeah, it
There's
will
going to
be.
be some money flowing.
We're gonna, but
10K.
really, the important thing is we will have the goblin back.
Money.
You will. That's
Oh,
true.
the-
That's true. It's all about that.
But as the Maltese Goblin teaches, take what you can get to the most.
Yeah, it
All right,
does.
we would
It
not
does
be
say that.
honoring the Maltese if we did not do that.
I really wish that instead of the picture how it looks, it was one of those like early 2000 or mid 2000s like motivational posters where it's like the black border around it and then it has the white text and says take all you can get. What did you say? Like
Take all you can get, and we'll have to listen to the video to
I think it's like do the most or something
do
like
the
that.
most.
the most.
And there's like a fighter jet. Yeah, so
with red, white, and blue in the sky.
cool.
Flying over.
She says, if those terms are acceptable, leaving the goblin is enough of a sacrifice. I would hope you would understand. Do we have a deal?
Okay.
I believe
Do
so.
we get like petrification protection amulets or something?
Yeah. So actually, she's going to give you a few bottles of a potion, and it's in here
We get
somewhere.
our PPP,
So yeah, totally. You do.
petrification
No,
protection
we
potion.
get 3 POSs. Potions of softening.
We get our triple P. Triple P. Nice.
Yeah. Can I post this in the chat? This image. Oh, come on. Man, I don't know how to do that. No, I didn't want to make an actor. Can I drop it as a tile?
Make an
But it's
actor with softening
nighttime.
oil. The embodiment.
Oh wow, that's
Whoa.
that's
Cool.
huge.
That's some sick art.
Hold on,
Needs
let
to
me
be smart because
let me make it
it is
daytime.
larger than the Maltese, and that is inappropriate.
So, so this is what it looks like. It's called the Gorgon potion, and she basically says, when you drink this, you'll be immune to petrification for 1 hour.
Can we throw in the deal way to make this?
No.
Ah.
Interesting.
She says, as a bonus, if you are a little bit risky, you can exhale a plume of vapor from this potion, which ends the effect on you, but can force those around you to become petrified themselves.
Ooh, mouth petrification.
So basically, if you drink
Aerosolized
this
weapon.
and then you exhale it as an action, it makes a 15-foot cone that they need to, save on a con save, and then they start to turn to stone. So with between the four of you, you could potentially get a lot of people if you needed to.
And is that like a once exhale per drink, or?
Yeah, as soon as you exhale it, the effects end and you are no longer immune to petrification.
Okay.
Yep, cool. She says she has to go to bed, and she bids you. She says, "See you tomorrow."
Well, yeah, we should probably get some sleep too. We've had a long day. Did a lot of bleeding, bled a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
We need a long rest.
Yeah, you will get that long rest. Is there anything before the invite to the auction that you guys want to do?
I want to learn some spells.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll go ahead and kick off that long rest. It'll take you like an hour to get back, and 8 hours. It'll be 7 in the morning. Long rest complete.
Okay. I'm going to need to take a little bit longer.
It is now 8 a.m.
Whoa.
Well, because I'm going to need to learn a 3rd level spell and 2 1st level spells, and then take my 4-hour long rest.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. You guys have all day, so
Okay, yeah.
if you want to just like prepare. Yeah, is there anything else you guys other than Magus would be doing during the day that we need to cover?
I will be handing Jade this massive ass axe that has been in my bag for a long time. I'm gonna just start charging you rent.
I mean, you're the one with the bag of holding.
Hey, you're the one keeping a 100-pound axe in there for rainy days.
No, this axe is spoken for. Weren't you paying attention?
Here, I'll just leave it in the bedroom. In Magus's bedroom.
Just like leaning up against the wall
yeah.
and Magus's apartment.
Yeah, right there.
His
Good.
dorm
That's
room,
good stuff for
basically.
it. I've still got a cockatrix in there, but that's small, so he doesn't count.
Magus's room is the flat of holding now.
flat of holding. I mean, that's really the only thing I have in there right now. I gave a lot of stuff to Vulcan.
Yeah.
So I think we distributed the gold back. I have in here I have 5,500 gold and a mithril ingot on my page, because I think I sold that, but I think we divvied that up between everyone already. I think that's why we have 1,000 plus gold.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
I believe it was dealt with. The 1,400 I had, I think, was from like mine days. We haven't had any gold income since then.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, I sold all this stuff and got 5,500, and then we split that up.
Yep.
So shade, that might be where the discrepancy came from, because that's 1375.
Yeah, okay, that would do it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, Megas, how much time do you need to be up to current with your spells and stuff?
So starting from the end of our conversation with the Lady of Coins, it's going to take me 12 hours until the end of my long rest.
Okay. Cool. So about 11 in the morning. Yep. What all did you learn?
I learned Major Image. I learned Knock, and I learned Silent Image. Or Major Illusion.
Okay.
Yeah, what was the name? So yeah, Major Image, Silent Image, and Knock.
Sweet.
So
Those are going to be cool.
I figure they're good heist things, particularly stealing something in plain sight.
Yeah, no kidding. Sweet. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll just skip ahead to when you guys need to go to the auction, if that's okay.
Okay. All right.
All
Now,
right.
what all do I need? Which ones do I need to prepare?
It's cool if you want to decide that, like, as we're going.
Sure.
And let's see. Thank you for that, Davey. Oh wow, that's exactly what I had in mind. So it's kind of a long, sort of tense day. I mean, there's a lot been leading up to this, and like this is going to, change a lot in the city. And about 5 o'clock, you guys decide it's time to head over to the bathhouse of Valis, which is where the rendezvous point is for the auction. So you make your way through the Commerce Gate and across the plateau, past the Agora, past the Great Gardens, past the Court of Mitros, and to the bathhouse of Valis. Now, Megas, you've been to the bathhouse.
Yes.
A lot.
Yep.
And
actually, as I go in, there's like a donation suggestion, I believe.
yeah.
I drop 100 gold in.
Oh, okay. And
Just because of all the times I was a poor college student and it was still open to me.
yeah, so Kaya, the caretaker of the bathhouse, she's a high elf, dressed in very fine in professional toga. She sees you enter and she smiles and nods, and then you reach for your coin purse and drop money in, and she says, "Now, Magus, that's certainly unexpected of you."
Times have been good lately.
Well, I hope the bathhouse can be just as good. What can we do for you today?
Oh, I believe I know my way around, thank you.
Well, have at it, and do call on Justinia if you need anything.
Oh, I might. And just kind of like a wink.
Welcome, all of you. And you guys enter. It smells incredible in here. It is you just feel the tension in your muscles start to melt away as you enter. There's the sound of running water. The humidity is high, and there's like a slight salty smell. There's all kinds of like sandalwood and lavender, and it's incredibly relaxing. There's light lute music playing, and yeah, it's not busy. I would say the bathhouses are usually busier earlier in the day. It tends to be the time that people kind of come and kind of do like midday or earlier in the day. So it's not unoccupied, and they don't close until nighttime. So you head towards there is a suite located on the invitation that you know to go to, and it's one of the
Okay.
nicer. Oh yeah,
Are we wanting to do this in disguise?
it's up to you.
That was kind
Wearing
of
masks? Wasn't that
I mean-
the point of the auction? Is everyone's wearing masks?
Well,
Usually,
Oh, yeah, like, do we want to go to the person handing out the masks in disguise, or handing out whatever in disguise, or masks?
you don't see anybody handing out masks.
We have to we have to bring our own.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
This
So,
is
like,
not something that the bathhouse is complicit in that you know of.
Yes, but when we go to meet our contact, do we want to be in disguise?
I mean,
I assume the hardest one is Shade.
yeah, probably.
No.
Do we still have like those Minotaur like goals and stuff, and make him look like a Minotaur?
Maybe make him look like a centaur.
That's kind of cool.
I mean,
If only Castor would have kept his word and given us our free ride, I could have had Shade ride him. It could have been a cat centaur.
One of these days, we're gonna have to just talk about like what you actually did to the centaurs.
It's what he did to me, okay?
I
This
really
is
don't think that's
out
the
of
case. We'll talk
control.
about it later.
he asked for a second ride.
Exactly. I was following the teachings of Malta, and he did not recognize it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
you were just trying to take all you can get to the most. Yeah.
And you got nothing out of it. Congratulations.
No, he got a nemesis for life.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I got
so
the
negative.
satisfaction of making him free.
You got something you did not expect.
Falbin's planning to be disguised.
Okay.
I mean, I guess
How are we
that's
dealing
probably
with
what we
Shade?
would have wanted to do before, like during that.
Yeah, you guys had a whole day.
Yeah.
It's drafts, went to Hobby Lobby.
So, are you guys thinking full disguises, just masks, or like how in depth are you want to do?
I mean,
I'm gonna say you can reasonably do either one. You have enough prep time. It's not gonna be hard.
yeah.
We'd all go in matching capes and cloaks so that we could hide Jade.
I mean, I would think we'd want to go in like full
Yeah,
disguise
I'm
to
thinking
some.
full disguise.
Sure.
Like that's the only way that would make any sense with Shade because of his
Yeah.
how much he stands out.
Yeah. Okay. So are you doing like magical stuff or just like full dress up?
Magic stuff.
I would tend toward full dress up because magical stuff has a time limit.
Right.
Yeah, and it can be like dispelled or seen through with whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only things I can think of that would help for Shade would be something like, kind of like, almost form-fitting with like big heavy cloak stuff over it. Like,
Yeah, sure.
That's about it. Something to cover up all his fur, so you can't see his face, can't see much
It's
of
like
his body
you're just
structure.
gonna be huge. Like you're just gonna
Yeah.
be big. Yeah.
But it'll just be like this. Okay, he's a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Sure. Yeah.
May I recommend a heavy metal collar and
Yes.
horns?
Yep. And a whip.
Interesting.
No.
I mean,
But the idea, like, he is a sworn enforcer.
Right.
yeah. All right. Sure.
That's cool. Yeah. So you're gonna kind of go as a Minotaur enforcer.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sweet. Okay.
And I will stash my glaive in. I will have to stash that in Theo's bag of holding.
Now,
Carry
come
it
on.
Mall.
Well, I guess you can take it out after we're there for a little bit and we're filling it with gold.
Yeah. I mean, if we get to the point of filling with gold, then I can pull it out. But
Good.
it is a long pole arm that is very distinctive.
It is. Okay, so you guys show up in disguise. I guess then that interaction with Kaya maybe doesn't take place. Assuming.
Yeah, we'll save that for later.
Cool. All right, so you enter. She greets you. She says, like, what does she say? Oh my goodness, there must be a party happening after. More of you in disguise.
I'll just kind of give like a haughty nod and throw 2 silver in the donation thing.
Thank you very much. That is quite generous. Do use protection. And yeah, you guys enter. That's my best Moira Rose. I do apologize if that's really, really bad. So yeah, you guys make your way into to one of the executive bathing suites. Megas, you've never had the opportunity of entering one of these, and as you open the pretty large, heavy door, there is a pool. Like roughly like a quarter the size of an Olympic pool. This is a very large pool. And there are several like kind of steaming hot tubs surrounding it. There are benches made of like water resistant wood, where vents underneath like pump steam straight up. There's a bell with a very like a deep red rope that you can pull if you need assistance. But there's nobody in here. You guys are alone. And on the table is a small note.
I burn the note.
You burn the note?
No.
Okay. You open the note and it says, turn the note over.
What?
And you turn it over and it's, no,
fine.
I'm just kidding. It doesn't say that. It says, please enjoy a relaxing soak in the pool.
All right. Guess we go in.
Who goes in first? Not that it matters.
I'm not pulling the lever this time.
Jade
Fine.
can go in first.
Okay.
You send in, like, I would think noble type stuff. You send in the expendable one first.
So Megas goes first.
Wait.
No, Shade.
Who goes
That was
first?
a good one.
Shade.
Oh, Shade goes first. So you step towards the step down into the pool, and as your foot breaches the surface of the water, your foot doesn't feel wet. And in fact, your foot doesn't feel anything. It just goes straight through the surface of the water and kind of impacts the step. You kind of are a little surprised by how quickly your foot just stepped through and felt nothing.
Just keep going, see what happens.
Yeah, you keep going and you stay dry as you slowly descend the steps into this pool, and eventually it gets up to your neck. You don't feel anything, and I'm assuming, do you just keep going?
Yep.
Yeah.
You keep going.
Head under, and you're still breathing air. This pool is empty, and it looks full from the surface.
I follow. I'm assuming like he doesn't like dissolve in acid or something from our perspective.
No, you see him under the water, and he's just looking around. And
All right, I follow.
cool.
It turned back and like nod or something, or like wave. Like kind of the come on.
Yeah, so one by one, you guys enter this very strange, illusory pool, and at the bottom of the pool is a grate, and otherwise you were just in an empty pool.
I will, in character, direct Shade to open the grate.
Shade will reach to open the grate. Is there like a handle on it or anything? Or?
It lifts off easily. It's unsecured, and you see a ladder that leads downward.
He'll move the grate to the side.
I'll go down first.
Okay. One by one, you guys descend the ladder for about 15 feet, 20 feet. And then you find you're in a tunnel. And there is that same gilded parchment that you received, that the invitation was written on. There is a small little placard with an arrow pointing in the direction you need to go. And assuming you follow it, you guys walk for about 15 minutes, maybe, until you see a disguised doorman standing in front of a door. And seeing your disguise, he bows wordlessly, and then opens a door into a underground facility. Not sure what the purpose of this place is originally, but you're in a small entryway with there are attendants who ask if you want any of your coats or cloaks taken. There is also starts with a C. It's like a person who handles arrangements. Concierge, yeah. There's like a concierge who says, and what have you brought anything for late entry to the auction?
I will, doing my best Spiro impression.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I will say, my motto is to always buy, never sell.
He says, my apologies, Lord Nerdagon. You had already entered, no?
Wait, was the impression that good? Oh, dang. So he said Spiro has already entered.
Yeah. He says, your father is already here. Would you like me to take you to him?
You are undermining the very point of disguises. I can take care of myself.
He humbly bows, very, very sorry that he assumed or implied anything. And he says, if you have gold to be set aside, please let me know and I will see to it.
I just walk past.
Okay. If anybody wants to keep their gold in the safe, this guy can help you.
Yeah, Falbin needs to secure some gold in the safe.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right. What are you dressed as, by the way? Or is it a themed disguise or?
Not particularly. I've got some other sets of clothes, and basically it's just the hood, but more of it.
Okay.
Because my natural attire is pretty close to you don't know who I am until you see I'm a Medusa.
And then you're petrified.
Okay. Cool. So without prying too much, the whole point of this place is to not pry. He leads you down a hall to a side room where there is. So this place is not a bank or anything. It doesn't have an existing vault. So instead, what you see is a barren open room, in the middle of which is about a 10-foot cubed, like, glowing blue force wall, like a cube made of, like, walls of force. And it's, like, humming lowly as you enter the room, and it emanates a soft blue glow. And in one of the faces is a very complicated looking, I hesitate to even say locking mechanism. It's just it's a metal circle with all kinds of glyphs and stuff on it, with a hole in the center. And inside this cube is piles and piles of gold and all kinds of random finery and items up for auction. You see some like fancy like a fancy mirror and like books and bottles of things, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So what, like?
So is the
You said
is
it's a cube.
It's a
What are the
cube.
walls made
It's
out of?
it's a wall of force. So like a shield,
Okay.
like a Star Wars
Yeah.
shield wall, and it's just a cube made of these walls of force. And there's there's about a foot wide circular metal thing on one of the faces, and that's the only like non-magic wall that it consists of.
So is the assistant gonna like open it for me or take my items or?
Yeah, he says he will take your item and then he will secure it for you.
All right. So change of plans. Instead of giving him gold, I'm going to give him my golden arrow.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to say that it's a late entry into the auction, and I will explain that its prominence is that it was used by the heroes of the people to slay the giant boar. So I'm embellishing here, obviously, but that it has got this lore about it.
Do a persuasion check.
Oh, great.
Do you have letter of authenticity
Yeah.
for that?
Mm-hmm. It's a 5.
I'm gonna
You gonna inspiration it?
No, I'm gonna need that.
Okay. He's like not even listening to you as you describe what this arrow is, and he says, "Yes, sir. Yes, very interesting. Wow, I'm sure it will fetch a high price." And he says, "Thank you." He says, "You may return to the meeting room."
And at that, I'm gonna be like cautious because I want to see him put it in the vault. Like I want to see it be safe before I leave.
Do you like ask him if you can stay and watch, or do you try to like hide and watch from somewhere else?
I gave him my gear, so I'm very much like I would like to see it put into the safe.
Okay. Roll another persuasion check.
Great.
10. Do you want to keep that?
Is that something you really want?
I will donate an inspiration to this.
You will?
Yep.
Yeah. To the fund.
Because I
let's see,
feel like this session is going to be ending pretty soon, so
Yeah.
I'll get it back.
I guess
Smart.
that's a 9. I'm gonna +5 that.
Okay. He says, well, fine. I will show you the security that this arrow will be just fine. He approaches the metal circle on the face of this 10-foot cube wall of force, and the hole in the center, he takes a finger and inserts it into the hole, and about 3 seconds later, there's a clickety-clack, and a gap in the wall opens, and he just like chucks the arrow in there. and it closes. It closes as soon as he
Jojo
removes.
looks at you. Is that sufficient?
Yeah.
Robin's like,
It
says,
breaks in two when it hits
"My-
the floor.
My deepest apologies, sir. I did not mean to damage your prized goods. Here, have this coupon for a free glass of wine at the counter. As soon as he removes
That's
his
about
finger,
all that arrow's worth.
as soon as he removes his finger, the wall closes back up and.
okay. And I will say, well, that does not seem very secure to me. If anyone can stick their finger in your hole, unlock the safe.
He kind of rolls his eyes and he says, "My good sir, you would not think me that. Here, try it yourself."
I guess
the
I
hole.
would like to roll an insight to see if he's just like, here, come check it out, or if he's like, come here and lose your finger, you bastard.
Okay, you can roll an insight. That's fine. Yeah. He's just like, he just wants you to leave him alone, and like he's like, whatever. Just if it will help you get out of my way, just do it.
Okay, well then I'm gonna go up to it and like timidly put my finger into it and like try to see if there's anything at all that I can glean from being this close to the mechanism while I'm doing it as well.
Yeah, so the mechanism is like fairly featureless, like and then as you place your finger in the hole, it's just smooth. Like you don't feel there's no buttons in there, there's no like there's nothing. It's just a smooth hole. And he says, "Are you satisfied, sir?"
Are you done fingering his hole?
I mean, I'm just gonna kind of look back at him and be like, I don't understand.
He says, "Exactly the point, sir."
You simpleton.
What a fine safe.
He says,
I'll
"Even
have
a
to tell
master,
all of my friends."
even a master thief would be befuddled by this mechanism."
What's the Amazon link for that?
This is the lockpicking lawyer, and today,
The XL 2000 Nimbus.
and friction on 2, click into 3. Yeah, so lockpicking lawyer is a great channel, by the way. So yeah, so he just kind of is like, "Are you done?"
And at that, I mean, there doesn't really seem to be anything else that I can make a move on. If I were a more persuasive individual, I would try to estrange him of additional facts, but I'm not very persuasive, as we've already proven twice.
Yeah, he's kind of like not really.
Yep, he's not feeling it.
But you have learned things.
I have learned things.
You know it
and
works.
I don't like any of them.
You know it works when he puts his finger into it. So
I do.
That's a simple solution.
Just gonna have to cut off his finger.
Yeah, we take his
That's
finger.
where I'm at right now, guys.
Without him noticing too. That's the hard part.
That's where we're all at.
So the rest of you enter the room, and like Lady of Coins had said before, in this, it's kind of just a big room. Off to the side is a bar. In the middle of the room are lots of chairs, and there's a stage at the front. And I'll give you kind of a quick rundown of who all is there. First off, you do see Taryn Nerdigan. Those of you who don't know,
Disguised?
Yeah.
sorry, you see some homie.
You smell?
Gosh darn it. Okay, no, you. So, fuck. All right.
Just take all of your world building and dash it on the rocks.
I had all but said that Taryn would be like the one person you could basically guarantee was going to be here. Anyway, so you're like, oh, looking for Taryn. You see a lot of these people are not in like total disguise like you are. A lot of them are just wearing masks. Like it's more just plausible deniability for some of these people. And make a perception check. Everybody who wants to make a perception check.
Oh, I want to perceive.
And that's a 13 for me because Foundry's doing its weird
Wow,
thing.
Theo, you said I want to perceive, and you do with a 25.
Praise be to Malta.
Okay, so Falbin, you're too distracted. You're too distracted by the
Still thinking
goblin.
about the smooth hole.
Yeah. Shade and Theo, you look across and your eyes are immediately drawn to this man wearing just completely gold robes, 100% gold. And he is just like shoveling grapes into his mouth from an elevated hand position, and just laughing
that's
to him.
10K right there.
Just laughing to himself. Delicious. I don't think either of you know the nobility of Mitros enough to make a guess to who it is. Magus, you recognize the laugh pretty quickly, and just the insanely gaudy clothing. That's gotta be, I put his name down here. Valerius Crassus. An affluent merchantman and art collector known for his extravagant tastes. And yeah, he is very rich. He probably rivals Terran for like the most, like the largest purse, the biggest bank account. Otherwise, everybody's in disguise, but your eyes are drawn to the back of the room where sits Commander Gaius, not in disguise, except for the one he always wears.
Motherfucker.
He's always
Son of a
in disguise.
Right,
Yeah.
he's always in disguise. Yeah, so what do you guys do?
Do the quick hand signal for the Lady of Coins to just murder everybody.
Ugh.
Well, Shade's playing his part and staying kind of like a little ways behind Magus's shoulder.
Okay.
So I will like kind of like hands within my cloak. So I'm like trying to disguise the fact, for any somatic components of the spell, just so I'm not burning sorcery points. But I will communicate via message to various peoples that like, okay, I can make people invisible, or I can generate an image of gold in the vault when there is no gold in the vault. I can open any arcane lock, but it will make a noise. And I can change my bodily appearance to it as you have seen before. Those are the main things I'm bringing to the table here.
Okay, that's pretty hard ass. I'm gonna say that like people are kind of sitting and congregating, but there's like an hour before the actual auctioning starts, so you guys can kind of meander around, talk to people if you want.
Sit somewhere where you can watch them open and close the cube multiple times.
I'll say the vault room is not visible from the auction room. There seems to be there's probably a hallway that leads to the stage, and then a separate hallway from the entrance.
So I thought the vault was like in the middle of the big room. when we
No,
walked
no,
in,
no.
right?
It's in a separate big room. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
That's humming with blue wall force.
Yeah. When you and the guy were in there, you were in there alone.
Did the guy have a name? I forgot to ask him.
Well, no, he's in disguise.
I mean, I
That's
guess
the
as this
only
time is
time I can
passing-
use that excuse for not knowing a name. Of course not, you fool. He's in disguise. He has a name, though.
As this time is passing, Falvin's gonna be like just kind of, wandering around the room a little bit, quietly, stealthily, as it were. Just trying to like stay out of everybody's way, not really engage with anyone, and looking for essentially how many pockets are gonna have to be picked
Right.
to meet the Lady of Coins needs.
Okay, so you're looking for how many of these people have money on their person.
Pack of pockets.
Okay. Let's just do a perception check from you. It's a natural Uno.
I'm gonna go ahead and inspiration that one.
Falvin is okay. Dirty 20. Nice. Yeah, you kind of make your way around, and people are like offering you drinks, and you're kind of just taking them just to maintain appearances. And you spot probably out of the like dozen like noble-looking people in here, you spot about 5 of them that have like a fair amount of money on them. You can't see how much because they're.
Note to self.
So probably
They
anywhere
have to
from
wear belts.
500 to between 5 and 10,000 gold on the floor.
Just on the floor. And that one guy's robes is worth at least 10K.
Yeah, probably.
Excuse me, I'm going to need to take your robes.
The problem is you can't sell it in Mitros because everybody knows whose
That's
it
okay.
is.
We'll melt it down into an ingot and then just sell it like that.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. Gold is gold. To the most.
To the most. Let's see. Shade, what are you up to?
I mean, I'm playing my role as an enforcer, so I'm following Magus around, just watching.
Sure. You can see, I'm gonna give you this for free. Gaius's head is tracking you around the room.
Tracking shade.
Tracking Shade.
Okay.
It's a little creepy. Shade will do his best to act like he doesn't notice this and just keep as if he's just looking for any threats to his charge. Just keep, just scanning the room.
Sure.
Not really pausing in any one location unless people get too close to Magus.
Magus, speaking of, what are you doing?
Right now, I am contemplating the moral quandary that if we just let things go, would Gaius get petrified?
Stone.
Also, from what we know about the auction so far, would now be the time when there is the most amount of gold in the vault, or would we have to wait until bidding started and happened for a while?
No, everybody's here, and the gold is set up in the vault.
Okay. Do we have eyes on the goblin?
Yeah, Falvin saw the goblin in the safe.
In the safe.
Eyes
Okay.
are always to the goblin.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, the risky news is when he threw that arrow in, it may
No,
May have.
no, it didn't. Stop. Do not blaspheme against the Malta.
That can't be true. That's impossible.
So freaking dumb. I love it.
Has Falben been able to communicate the nature of the vault back to the rest of the group?
I'd say, over between like in the next hour, you guys have been able to kind of huddle up, and he's been able to describe how it seems to work.
Does that
Blue
sound
magic
like
wall, single hole, no make sense, biological lock.
Right. Does that count as an arcane lock?
I don't know. Let's see.
So
Arcane
Make an
lock.
Arcana check.
So I think an arcane lock is a spell. There is a spell called arcane lock.
there is, but
Casting knock on the object suppresses arcane lock, the spell, for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So this is a mechanism.
It sounds like you need an artificer.
I don't think knock would work on this.
Well, the object can be a door, a box, a chest, a set of manacles, a padlock, or another object that contains a mundane or magical means that prevents access.
Ooh. Your tiger lawyer is showing.
This seems cheap, right? I mean, this is like a hardcore, like,
That is what knock does.
bitchin'
Well, here's the
magical
thing.
save.
When you cast the spell, a loud knock, audible from as far as 300 feet away, emanates from the target object.
That's true. That's very true.
So that is. I mean,
Who's got silence?
I don't have everything.
I'm gonna say this
Magic was
is.
supposed to be awesome.
I'm gonna say this is not. This doesn't work with knock.
Okay. So does anyone want to get nuts?
Ask Val, but he's on a roll tonight.
I mean, this thing is made of force, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I can see through it, right?
You can.
Okay. All right.
Shade
Do
it.
you want me to
shade
try
it.
and
I do.
Here,
portcullis?
can you
I
hold,
do.
Can you hold the bag?
I mean,
Oh my god.
What the hell is happening here?
Oh, come on, you know what's gonna happen here.
I guess the question, if we can ask it without anybody overhearing, Shade would ask Magus based on Falben's description.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to do my echo swap through that wall?
Would he be able to do his echo swap through the wall?
I don't freaking know.
He would definitely be able to do
This
his
is where you roll an Arcana check and you come up with an answer.
In
And
the
if
other
you just roll low,
dimension.
you can be like, you don't know.
In the other dimension, that vault does not exist.
You
See?
can magically swap. I mean, it's a teleport, so I'd say yeah. I'd say yeah.
Oh boy.
Dude, we
So
could
busted.
have such a life of crime. I'm
I mean-
glad you were recruited to the Malta organization. Your skills are invaluable.
I mean, to get the goblin back, if some other things happen to just fall into the bag of holding
Praise
while I'm
be to
putting
Malta.
goblin. And,
So I will say the
Give
one
him
thing
company.
that's happening kind of in the minutes leading up to when the auction's about to start is that the concierge is he is removing the items that will be up for bid. And like placing them on like a cart that he's gonna move out to the stage.
That's the Malta.
And like, is this in plain sight of everybody, or is this in that separate room?
It's in the separate room. The vault is not visible from the auction room. You have to be basically in that room to see it. So, but I'm guessing that like Falbin would be like every now and then peeking his head in when he gets a chance, and you do see him like preparing to do that.
Oh man, we did not plan well enough for this.
You didn't know what was going to be in here.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
But that's the other thing is like we didn't plan through the idea of, okay, do we try and empty the vault and just hand it off to the Lady of Coins, or do we try and like grab stuff as we go? Like, what do we do? We're just we're gonna do something.
We get the Malta. That is all that matters.
Here's the thing. I can make Shade invisible. He can teleport in, quickly clear everything out, and leave. After which, I can create the image of there still being gold in the vault. And I can keep that up for about 10 minutes, and we can use that to like cover for us as we make the handoff and extricate ourselves. Or like create an alibi that like, well, we weren't the ones who were stealing it. We were right here.
Well, the problem is if like Shade turns invisible with a bunch of people around him.
I mean, I can make the excuse of like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom, and I will take my like guard person with me.
Yeah, that's
right.
And
that's
we can
feasible.
both be invisible for a bit. And the thing is, I can't do invisibility and the fake gold at the same time.
That's the trick.
So it would have to be a point when the concierge is not coming back.
Like when the auction's happening.
Yep.
So we do that during the auction to clear out all the gold. Then we still let the Lady of Coins petrify everybody, and that's how we get the Goblin Malta back after everything's gone.
Yes.
I think at this point it is worth
You gotta
noting
turn them.
that they probably need to be stoned because Gaius.
He has
I'm actually
contaminated
really
the entire
worried
room.
I'm actually really worried about that part. I don't think he's going to end up as stone.
I mean, it's possible. But then
we won't
at
know
that
until we
point,
try.
the Lady of Coins and us will be facing him rather than just us.
I'm afraid that he might mess up the Lady of Coins.
And then us.
And then us.
Why don't we see what happens? I think your plan is
Roll for
good.
initiative.
I think it's a good plan.
Oh, we can't do it now, guys. We can't do it. When the DM thinks it's a good plan. Which lever? Uh-huh.
But who specifically is
Yeah, who
pulling that lever?
specifically?
Well, I think we should do it. The only risk we're running here is that the concierge is gonna pull the item we didn't want him to first.
Hey.
Right.
But that's a risk we're gonna have to take.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so the opening gambit is Shade and Magus go to the bathroom, go invisible, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Well,
Yes.
oh boy. The thing is, like, 10 minutes later, the illusion will go away, and then the gig is up.
Yes, that's right. It's gonna be quick.
Won't be quick.
Sure, let's get nuts.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys start heading towards the bathroom. Gaius gets up from his seat and
Come on.
starts to follow you.
Does he have to go to the bathroom too?
Yeah, he's like
Maybe.
hopping on one foot and then the other. Ooh, gotta go.
He has this like really high pitched voice.
Oh no.
No.
And so Magus, who's going first into the bathroom?
I mean, it
Bathroom
was.
train.
It would make sense. It's Magus. Shade is just
Yeah.
following him.
Like,
So Magus
Yeah, it
enters
would
the
be-
door, and Gaius steps in front of you, Shade, and just stands in the doorway facing you. And he says, "Can you guys hear me in voice?
no.
No?
Nope.
Hold on one second.
I mean, you hear your normal voice.
You hear
but
my
not
normal
like
voice.
A Gaius voice.
One second. One moment. Just a minute. Why is that not
Please?
working?
Hold please.
Why is it not working?
Just use that voice.
Darn it.
Why is it working?
Okay, well, you guys know what Gaius sounds like. He just did the thing. And so he steps in front of you. I turned it off so that this isn't one of those situations again where I just leave it on the rest of the time. It is off. If you heard it, I'm sorry you're not going to hear it in the dialogue. He steps in front of you, Shade, and he doesn't touch you. He just stands there, and I'm assuming you stop instead of running right through him. Unless
Yeah.
you want to.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
I would stop, but I would like lean in close, like trying to like make it obvious. I need to get to my charge.
He
Wouldn't
says...
say anything.
He leans in close too, and you guys are like a foot apart, like face. He's obviously shorter than you, but you are closer to him than you have ever been, and you know he looks at you with this just like black steel face, this visage, and he says, "It's time for me to leave. But I need you to do something for me."
Shade would just like cock his head to the side, like he's not sure he understands. He's trying to stay in character as a.
Yeah, sure. And he understands that. And he continues, after you leave, meet me in the house that was yours. Alone.
Shade will just stare at him.
And he'll step away.
And as soon as he's clear, Shade will just keep going forward. Just in his mind is just like, oh boy, this is not good. But just continue with his role.
But hey, at least Gaius is leaving, right? So
Yeah.
No, that was the whole point of stoning everyone.
We're going to stone them. We're finally on
Well,
board.
The major concern that Gaius wouldn't be turned to stone is
at least that's
being removed.
quelled, right? And yeah, the rest of you are kind of confused to see Gaius just like walk straight out and leave. All right, so in the bathroom, Megas.
Okay, I have ideas. I assume I didn't hear any of that.
No, I think you did. He literally like stepped right between the two of you. You would have heard that, and you probably would have heard him speaking.
Okay. I'm going to look to Shade and say like, okay, I have an idea. I wonder if we can blame this all on him and him leaving early. So let's go. And turn us both invisible.
You turn invisible. It's about this time that the auctioneer starts to get going.
All right.
Yeah, so out of the other room, you hear just like, ladies and gentlemen, lords and ladies, I don't know who any of you are, wink, wink, but I'm so happy that you've joined us today, and we have beautiful items up for bid. The first of which is, we'll get this one out of the way. It is a golden arrow.
Falbin audibly gasps.
Yes, quite a fine. Let's start the bidding at 500 silver.
Falbin takes the bid.
You put your hand up. Nobody else puts their hand up. Well, 500 silver to the gentleman. Do I hear 501? Anyone? 501. A true bargain. Open letters with this. Poke your friends as a joke. 500. Nobody. Okay. Well, going once, going twice, and sold to user. Yes! And an attendant like brings it to you and hands it back to you. Oh man. Next, now we're really getting started here. This next item, a vial of pure nether sea water. Drink this if you dare. Who knows what will happen when you sip from the lake of the Lady of Dreams. Let's start the bidding at 300 gold. The gold cloaked man puts his hand up immediately. 300. Do I hear 400?
So, just to clarify, before we started off with this plan, Shade would have gotten the bag of holding from Theo, just to make sure that's
totally
clear.
totally cool.
Well, hold up.
Like,
Okay.
we need this.
Remember, this means that
Alright, if
Theo
you're
and
gonna put the Maltese in
Falvin,
it,
Theo and Falvin are the ones who are potentially going to be spending your money. Well, I guess maybe not if you guys just wait it out. So actually, that is a good question to ask. Do either of you plan on actually bidding on any of this, or just waiting and taking it?
Right, just taking it.
We're doing the taking right now.
Okay.
Yeah, to the most.
Right. So I'll just kind of quickly go through the rest of the main items. There are other things that are up for auction that are just kind of fancy stuff that would just be something you would sell or put in a house. So the first thing is nether sea water. The second, he brings out a kind of like a Beauty and the Beast glass container, and inside is a delicate blue flower. And Actually, most of you who entered the tomb of Lukos would have seen this flower laying on the tomb of his long past Phinea. And you were pretty sure that Gaius was the one who brought and laid that flower there. And he basically says, this is a rare, rare blue fulgur blossom, only growing in fields drenched in repeated lightning strikes. A rare find. And it goes for like 200 gold. And then the third item is, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special find. This was a late entry, and I just am flabbergasted that it's even here.
At least he's showing the proper reverence.
With incredible pride, I present the Goblin of Malta. And he just like waves over to the shitty sketch of this goblin in this like tarnished gold frame. It's actually been put into a nicer frame. You actually notice.
They refurbished it?
They refurbished it.
Oh my.
Oh no.
And he
You
says,
defiled the Malta.
our greatest
We need to tell
scholars,
everyone now.
our greatest scholars have confirmed it's genuine, and we are going to start the bidding at 5,000 gold, and at a bargain.
Have we completed our heist at this point?
Yeah. What do you're enacting that now? The so Shade.
So like as soon as the auction started, we would have like
Yeah.
Okay.
invisible Shade into the cube, scooping everything into the bag.
So it's
Yeah.
like clear to make sure there's nobody like coming down the hallway. Shade will summon his echo in there and then swap places with it, leaving his echo in kind of like the corner of the room, most out of sight.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
just-
you kind of take advantage of the relative darkness of this place anyway. So.
Yep. So other than just piles and piles of gold, like, is there anything else that looks exceptionally valuable?
There are some like I'd say there's some mithril ingots. Let's say there are 3 mithril ingots.
Oh yeah, I'm grabbing those.
Yep. You also, I'm going to reserve the right to retract this in case this messes everything up. There is a orb of some unknown metal that you have never seen.
Or
Unobtainium.
It is unobtainium.
It's the lady's bomb.
No. Oh, sorry. Did I say orb? I meant ingot. It's an ingot of ore that you've never seen.
oh yeah. Well then, shoot, I'm grabbing that. Other than that, it's like, do any of the books look like magical? Because you mentioned there's like books and stuff.
Hold on. Actually, no. It is an orb. It is an orb.
Orb of ore.
Yes. It's an orb of ore.
And I'd like to think it's not the same proportions as what the lady.
No, it's
coins.
different, and when you touch it, like your fur on your hands kind of stands up a little. It's like staticky.
Electrum.
That
I
goes in
mean,
the bag.
it's what Electrum should be. Otherwise,
other-
that's pretty much it. Besides gold.
I mean, unless there's anything that looks obviously valuable or like useful looking, he's just going to be shoveling coin in.
Yeah. Cool. Shoveling. The next item is it's an aged goodberry wine. Then he shows it's a quicksilver mirror. If you're tired of seeing yourself as you always do, look at yourself in this quicksilver mirror and you'll see something slightly different. Let's see. There's also the armor of Icarus, and it's basically this like kind of gold breastplate with like folded wings on the back, a relic of a time long gone. And
We should
then
steal that.
there's a tome. It's for the librarians in the house. It's a tome of fighting styles. And then the last item is a pelt of a golden lion. And those all go for, at least 1,000 gold each. And by this point, you have shoveled all the gold and stuff into the bag of holding. You have no idea how much it is, but you're able to swap back out and do the illusion, right?
Yeah. So like, we'll proceed down the hallway away from it because I can't do invisibility and the illusion at the same time.
Right.
You have to be able to see
then-
where you're casting the illusion.
Let's see. Yeah, needs to be a spot. No, it just says within range. So as long as it's within 60 feet of me.
So we should go back to the bathrooms.
Yep.
Okay. 60 feet.
Yep.
Those bathrooms are more than 60 feet.
Roll a d20 because that's close. I don't know. Okay, yeah, it's close enough. You got to be standing on the toilet, but you can make it.
Oh. So I can't go, but like back into the main area.
You can. Do you
Don't
want
really
to
want to be there when invisibility drops?
You want to be in the
or-
bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, right. I just want to be able to like hold the illusion while I'm seen among people in the main area.
Yeah. I'm saying we should go back to the bathrooms,
Drop
cast the illusion,
invisibility
and then come
Right.
out.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. You do that just in time for the last item, which is it's draped under a cloak, and you can tell this is the sphere that the Lady of Coins brought. Yeah. So
Buy that.
he puts it on the pedestal in front, and he says, "This is a late edition."
I drink the potion.
Okay. Oh yes. Finish your drinks. You'll want to see this. A late edition, rumored to.
Seeing Magus drink his, Shade would probably drink his.
Can I sending the Lady of Coins and tell her we have the contents of the vault?
Sure. Yeah.
I do that.
So this is
On the
basically
words- On the words, this is a late edition. Valbin gets up and leaves the room.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So basically, Magus, this is you signaling that she does not need to go through the petrification.
Correct.
Okay. So he says, this is a very strange item. It's rumored to be a dragon pearl. What that is, I have no idea. But wouldn't you like to be the only one to have one in your study? Yes, you would. I know you would. Let's start the bidding at 3,000 gold. There, like, the room is kind of it's a fierce competition. This is ramping up. 4,000, 5,000, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000. And there is one figure in the room who is sitting stock still. And Magus, you don't know who exactly is the Lady of Coins, but this one person is not like in uproar like the rest of the room. And so you can kind of assume it's probably them. And they are holding like the bidding sign that you hold up in the air, but they don't ever lift it up. And eventually the bid ends at like well, no, it doesn't end. It's starting to peter out at like 12 or 13,000. And then her hand finally goes up. And she says, she says, 100,000 gold. And the room goes quiet. And he says, well, that's got to be it, I think, folks. I'm sorry. I think going once, twice, sold to you. And brings it back to her. And she turns and kind of glances over the crowd, not exactly knowing where you are, but nothing happens.
Okay.
And
I
actually,
would
she gets
also-
up and starts to leave.
As much as possible, I would also like to be like kind of like moving through the crowd, spreading rumors. It's like, did you see Commander Gaius leave early? I thought he'd stay. I hear the room like his order is rumored to be flush with cash. Who knows from where?
Yeah, like some people are like, oh yes, that is interesting, and others are like, I'm just glad that he left. He scares the crap out of me.
Yep.
Kind of a
So
mix.
like just trying to plant suspicion. Like, isn't it weird he left early? And how
Isn't
does he
it?
have that much money?
Isn't it weird?
We should leave.
Cool. So you guys don't have the goblin.
Not yet.
Oh,
But we saw who got it, right? Falvin and Theo.
Right? Yeah.
I'm
How
gonna
did we
say
not?
I'm gonna say it's Crassus. It's the gold bedecked person.
Well, good,
Oh,
because we're gonna
perfect.
hit that cloak up anyways.
Okay, so like even if we don't get it now, we can go steal it from him later because we know who got it.
I think that's fair.
I really hoped that you
cannot
guys would just
allow
have the
him.
goblin. I went through all this so you could get it back, and then you let it go.
It took us the whole time before the auction to figure out what we were gonna do to get into the vault.
Oh,
I mean, you heard that Theo has like at most 3,000 gold, and you started the bidding at 5,000.
that's true. That's true. The thing is, you could try to trade him right here if you want.
Why trade what you can steal? Thus saith the Malta.
I mean,
Anyways.
that's a trade. Like Jade or Theo are gonna have to. They're the ones that need it.
Okay, well, well, this is weird. So the results of this, I'm going to say, how long does the illusion last of the gold in the vault?
The illusion lasts for 10 minutes, but as long as I'm within range, I can re-up it 4 times if I need to.
So you need to, you need to leave before they go to start like divvying out
Yeah.
the gold.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So does that
I'll re-up it one last time, and then like, okay, let's all go.
okay? Yeah, you guys are among the first of the crowd to leave because everybody's staying. And are you trying to sneak out?
I wouldn't think so.
Well, because
Just
here's the
leaving
thing:
with
if you guys leave, well, you didn't buy anything actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not suspicious.
Disappointingly,
golden
but
arrow.
unobtrusively.
Oh, you bought the
He did
golden
buy the
arrow.
golden
Yeah,
arrow.
you bought that with like a Best Buy gift card.
They handed it to me.
Yeah, they were
Being mad
glad.
for money.
Yeah, you're like, hey, the money. Oh, right, yes.
Like, I like to think that it would be the guy who put it in the vault. He's like, but you're the one that put it in. Just
I'm just-
go.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
He just does not care at all. All right, so without a hitch, but because of lots and lots of preparation, you exit the auction with a shitload of gold, and you do need to, give it to Lady of Coins.
Yep.
At least most of it. And
I assume we're not going to go straight there. We'd want to go back, drop off some of the other goodies, and
Yep.
then go meet
And you
her.
didn't take any of the other magic items, did you?
I mean, there weren't any other magic items in there that.
No,
Or-
but oh yeah, right, because everything else was on the auction floor.
Yeah.
Wow.
if there are other magic items that Shade could have
No,
grabbed, he would have.
there's not, which is wild because I put all this stuff thinking you guys were just gonna rob the place blind of the items, but
I
you
would have
didn't
been.
take any of
We
them.
didn't-
So
Well, we didn't. If we had done this, like right before the auction and tried to get
Right.
out, then maybe we could have. But
right. Wow.
Otherwise, we would have had to get everybody petrified to do it.
That's fair. That's fair. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. So we'll end with you guys returning to, I guess,
I think we
Magus's.
broke the DM.
No, I'm just like upon immediate reflection being like, wow, I built this up to be like this crazy thing, and I feel like I kind of didn't deliver on that. So like I don't know, like I probably shouldn't apologize, but I mean, you guys planned the shit out of it, like and like that magic spell combo is ridiculous. It's awesome. Like that's
Magic is awesome.
it's totally and it required the two of you to make it work. So like
and so neither of us could be on the floor while the auction was happening.
so I'll put that back on you guys, because like it's your fault that this was so easy. Well, because here's the thing, if Shade had not been able to, like, if I hadn't made it see-through, that's my bad, if you had not been able to jump in there, then you would have had to find a way to open the vault, which, as far as you know, the concierge has to stick his finger in there, and then, like, how does that work without exactly, like
when we see him go back there to get the items, we turn invisible, we go in there, as soon as he opens it, we knock him out, throw him in there, take all the stuff out of it, and slam the door with him locked inside.
Yep.
Or like that was kind of where I was asking, like, ooh, does someone want to try something crazy? I was thinking turn someone invisible with the bag of holding, go to deposit something in the cube. When he opens the door, they sneak in, empty it, then someone then later come back and say, like, I need to up my ante, I want to deposit some more gold, and then go back, and
let them
when
out.
he opens the door again, they come out, and it's like, what? How did this happen?
That's
you
pretty
clearly
good.
Don't know how, like, that sort of thing.
That's pretty good. I will say one thing I goofed on is I forgot what my original plan with Gaius was to have, he was going to bid on the goblin, and he was going to outbid everybody, and then and then he was going to use that to secure a meeting with you. So
Okay, that would have worked.
right, and I forgot to do that because I am brilliant. Well, because I think we're basically done. I'm just table talking now. I was so focused on, like, oh, I have to have all these NPCs, like, I have to think of, because they're going to be like, they're going to be grilling them for, like, oh, were you actually complicit in the slave trade? And they're going to be interviewing them before the auction and, like, trying to find information about who's guilty and who isn't. But no. So, like, so a lot of my, like, prep for this session was that, and I didn't need it. So
well, also, I mean, like, we like bypassed so many things. Like, you were getting ready, like, and in the front row you see, which is like, don't care.
Right? Yeah. And then I was like, oh, right, of course they're disguised. But, like, I was gonna have it. Like, you could talk to them and figure out who they were. Like, of course Darren was there, and Anyway, I need to not apologize.
I'll
stuff
admit,
happens.
I was kind of bypassing some of that stuff due to the time constraint, because now we are an hour past normal.
Yeah. Like, I was also trying to kind of, like, consolidate it. So I don't know if we're gonna get to play next week or for the next few months. So, but yet the goblin eludes you. And
like, we will tear down the Titans, and still the goblin will elude us.
It's like, that'll be the after credits scene of us finally getting the goblin back.
So here,
Only
this
to
is gonna be the
find that it's a
motivation.
forgery.
see,
This is
I
going to
don't.
be the motivation for us to all become gods at level 20 or something.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, do I just lean into this and, like, keep the goblin at bay, right? Because, like, part of me was like, oh, like just get it already, and like, oh, I'll just have the Lady of Coins be like, oh, I'll throw you a bone and have one of my guys go steal it and blah blah blah. But is it better if it just stays on the run, right? Like, I don't know.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm kind of good either way. It's just fun that the goblin is part of the universe, just like floating around, and we're constantly keeping an eye on it.
Okay.
You
All right.
traitor.
What? We'll get it eventually.
Like,
Good either way.
Well, you know where
Magus
it
fulfilled
is.
all of his desires in the auction. Like he doesn't really care about the goblin, but he managed to like keep, you know, the destabilization of the Mytrosian society from happening.
That's really true. And like this was fairly short, but only because you guys had done so much planning and like talk about what's right, what's effectual. Really everything was ready to go as soon as you stepped in the door. And like that last minute kind of change of plans with Lady of Coins, I thought that was great. I mean, like, because you could have like been like, hey, we don't agree with what you're doing, so we're going to try to stop you. But instead you kind of just helped her do it more smoothly. And just, you know, like you missed out on some loot that way. But you secured probably a good alliance, which is good. So,
And I still have a Gorgon potion.
and you didn't drink it, right? Oh man, oh that's
I didn't either.
you were just ready to like just eat
I
that.
Theo was gonna face tank it.
I was ready. I had confidence in my crew, and you know they pulled through.
That's amazing.
I have faith in Malta.
Oh god, that's pretty good. Okay, well, I guess I'll wrap up the recording. Yeah, you know, when you know you're maybe not gonna play for a long time, you do funny things. But thank you for joining. If we don't see you for a bit, subscribe and you'll be notified next time we play. So anyway, thanks guys. We'll see you next time.